I rub my sore eyes and sit up in a daze, the cough still scraping at my throat. The room around me is a small thatched hut only a few square meters wide, like a toilet stall, with a slowly burning bonfire in the middle of the floor. Outside, the wind howls and the dark is so absolute I cannot see my hand in front of my face. I should be in my school dorm right now, asleep, and instead I am here. A prank, a kidnapping, or something worse. Every possibility surfaces at once, but before I can chase any of them down, a voice cuts straight into my mind. Survivor, the voice says, welcome to the dark world. To survive, please remember the following precautions. Unknown dangers lurk in the night, and keeping the bonfire burning greatly reduces the probability of being attacked. The danger level is greatly reduced during the day, so cherish the short daytime and explore and gather as many resources as possible. The shelter is the foundation for survivors to live in the dark world, and you must upgrade your shelter as soon as possible. The survival manual has many functions. Read it carefully and protect it well. A natural disaster will be randomly drawn every natural month, so please be aware. And finally, good luck favors those who strive to survive. The voice cuts off as abruptly as it started, but I know it was real and not an illusion. Cold wind seeps through the gaps in the hut, and I shiver, taking a deep breath of cold air, then quickly tightening my jacket and crowding closer to the bonfire to squat down and rub my hands. The warmth dispels the chill enough for my frozen thoughts to start flowing again. The indoor temperature in the middle of July is winter cold. If this were China, it would have to be the very northernmost region. To be transported here in an instant, with a voice speaking directly inside my skull, is far past anything existing technology can do. I have clearly been caught up in some mysterious event. And since I am here, I might as well make the best of it. As a contemporary college student raised on internet novels, I accept transmigration faster than most people would. I take a deep breath of the smoky air, stand up, and survey the small hut for the survival manual the voice mentioned. Only a few square meters cannot hide much, and in the corner I find a black handbook the size of a notebook along with a chipped, worn stone axe. The cover reads Survival Manual in plain printed characters, and the moment my eyes touch it, information rises directly in my mind. The Survival Manual integrates the various functions of the dark world, and if it is damaged, the shelter takes corresponding damage. So the book is essentially the core of the shelter. The voice already told me the shelter is the foundation here, and if it falls, the cold alone will kill me before any monster does. My expression darkens and I flip the manual open carefully. The pages are textured like animal hide. The flyleaf carries the 6 precautions verbatim. The first page logs weather as heavy fog, strong wind, overcast, temperature is outdoor -7.1 degrees, and time is night, remaining 2 hours, 32 minutes, 35 seconds. The animal hide paper updates in real time like a screen, which is unsettling. But transmigration is real, so any other absurdity is reasonable. The second page is the chat channel divided into world, region, and friends. The world channel shows over 8 billion people and is dropping by hundreds of thousands a second as I watch. The region channel is locked at exactly 10,000. Over 8 billion is the entire population of Blue Star, which means everyone has transmigrated. And how the elderly, sick, and disabled will survive in a place like this is not something I want to picture. I lived alone after my grandfather passed, so I do not have to worry about relatives I cannot reach. I open the world channel and instantly drown in scrolling messages I cannot read fast enough to make out. I switch to region instead. Help. I think I have been kidnapped. Can someone call the police? Buddy, I am a police officer from America and I want to call the police too. What kind of black tech is this manual that pipes thoughts into my head? Did we transmigrate or are we test subjects in a secret experiment? Have you seen the world counter 8 billion? Did everyone on Blue Star transmigrate? Dad, Mom, are you here? Stop shouting, 8 billion split into 10,000 person regions. Do you really think you would land next to someone you know? Anyone there? Since we are in the same region, we cannot be far apart. Let us move in together. Move in. With the danger out there, only a fool leaves their shelter. Can someone give me clothes? I sleep naked. I will freeze to death. Awesome. In this cold, who has spare clothes? You are on your own. Then a voice cuts in mid-sentence saying it hears wolves and asking if everyone's bonfires are still burning, that he just opened the door to look outside and the wind blew the flame out. And then he is screaming, telling something not to come closer, then nothing. Someone tries to call him back, brother. Are you okay? Do not scare people. Then the region counter clicks down from 10,000 to 9,999. The precaution about bonfires lands with a weight nobody can pretend not to feel, and the chat falls silent for more than 10 seconds before someone forces a sentence. The bonfire must not go out at night. As soon as it is light, we collect firewood first. Now everyone has a direct sense of how dangerous the dark world is. I look at my own crackling bonfire with a pounding heart, read in silence for a while longer, then flip onto the third page, the trade channel, which is empty because no one has listed anything yet. The fourth page is upgrade, showing level 1 shelter thatched hut, requiring 100 units of wood and 20 units of stone, with a note that the drafty hut is the lowest tier and that upgrading unlocks new functions. Every page after that is blank. So the manual currently has environment, chat, trade, and upgrade, and there are clearly more functions waiting to unlock. Those blank pages cannot be a diary. I close the book, flip back, and reread the 6 precautions one more time. The danger level drops in the day, and there are less than 2 hours of night left. I have to rest fast and adjust my state, because every precaution may be the line between life and death now. I sit cross-legged by the fire and force myself into half-sleep, dozing and waking, never trusting the dark enough to drop deep. With 20-some minutes left, I jolt up, slap myself, and run through the latest version of the 9th set of National Middle School students' broadcast gymnastics. My body is not particularly strong, but I know warming up before strenuous exercise prevents injury, and waking up early to do it inside the shelter wastes none of the precious daytime. By the closing jumping exercise, the cold stiffness has eased, and a steady warm current runs through me. Less than 10 minutes of night remain. I pick up the worn stone axe, weigh it, swing it lightly. The manual identifies it as a no-rank axe of ordinary quartzite, mainly for chopping firewood and trees, usable as a weapon in special circumstances. According to the handbook, item rarity runs black iron rank, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, legendary, mythical. 8 ranks total, and what I am holding does not even reach black iron. Speechless, I wonder how many swings it will take to fell a tree. Time runs out, the night closes its last second, and daylight descends. The panel updates: weather sunny, outdoor 5.5 and indoor 11.3. Daytime remaining 8 hours. The temperature jump from the freezing outdoor minus to single-digit positive is welcome, and the indoor bonfire makes the difference real. But 8 hours is not much daylight to plan resource runs, exploration, and a return trip in. Cherish the short daytime, the precaution said, and now I understand why. Across the dark world, everyone is bursting out of their shelters. 8 hours is short, and I do not know yet whether the daytime length will change later. I do not rush out. Instead, I cautiously read the chat for a few minutes to see if anyone has hit danger on the way out. Somebody bragging that he held it all night in the outhouse, and brothers, let us go. Somebody claiming he plays construction games and this is home turf. Somebody marveling at the beautiful jungle and fresh air and calling it paradise. No one reports immediate danger. I take the stone axe, push aside the curtain of the hut and step out. Dew clings to grass blades around the hut, sparkling under faint light, and insects and birds chirp softly through unfamiliar trees and shrubs. The harmonious scene only makes me grip the worn axe tighter. Whatever entity dragged everyone here from Blue Star did not do it out of kindness. Nobody abducts the entire population of a planet for a vacation. The handbook says daytime is reduced danger, not no danger, and overnight the regional counter has fallen from 10,000 to 9,982, more than a dozen people gone in a single night. I leave the shelter cautiously and step into the unknown. Survivors are already in the trees, and after the first axe swing, the regional channel explodes. Even the construction game enthusiast goes honest after one swing, complaining that a flimsy 10-centimeter sapling is harder than rock, and asking how he is supposed to gather 100 units of wood for an upgrade at this rate. A physical laborer type laughs that even he, doing manual labor every day, only fells 1 tree in 5 minutes for 1 unit of wood, and even he has to rest, so the day will be brutal. Someone trying to beg half a unit gets called a dummy and told to go chop his own and not forget how those people died. Someone else offers private photos for food and wood, gets called out as an online beggar, and slides into a private chat after a particularly suggestive image. Get to work, the channel says. No fire equals death. I close it. About 30 meters from the shelter, I find a small birch forest, choose a thinner sapling and swing. The recoil up the haft and the shallow notch I leave on the bark tell me everything. I adjust posture, aim at the same notch, and chop with all my strength. 8 minutes later, the sapling falls and I have 1 unit of wood. I do not rush to pick it up. I rub my arm, rest, and run the math. A strong adult collecting 1 unit per 5 minutes only manages 96 in 8 unbroken hours, and rest and food cut that down. 60 units a day would be excellent. With nightly bonfire consumption added, gathering 100 units takes at least 2 full days. Part-time work has kept me fitter than the average fragile college student, but I am no laborer. Without better tools, I am looking at 30 to 40 units a day, no more. I do not rush to join the chopping army. People who play games know exploration and quests beat blind grinding in a fresh map. And although this is not a game, mapping the surroundings and clearing dangers around the shelter makes future tree chopping safer. Carrying the worn axe, I head east toward the rising sun, climbing bushes and grass and watching for danger, all of which burns through stamina faster than flat ground. About 15 minutes later, 300 meters from the shelter, a pitch-black region rears up directly ahead, with occasional howls coming out of it that lift the hair on my neck. The transition is only meters wide and yet feels like another world entirely, completely unnatural. Facing it, I prudently stop. The clear, relatively safe ring still has more to give and there is no need to risk myself yet. Looking sideways, the boundary curves around the shelter in a circle, a dark encirclement, and for now my explorable area is the 300-meter radius. Whether it expands with shelter level, I do not know yet. Hungry and thirsty after the sleepless night, I pivot to look for wild fruit, and as I turn, sunlight catches a glint of metal among weeds along the dark border. Pushing the weeds aside, I see a wooden treasure chest hidden in shadow with a clasp that briefly caught the sun. The handbook tags it treasure chest, black iron rank, with 60% chance of unranked items, 30% black iron, 10% bronze. The manual never mentioned chests, so this is new information. The black iron probability split is honestly stingy, and my luck has historically been bad. I am a bit unlucky, which is no secret to me, but the box is more enticing than gold to a hungry man. I drag it into the open and open it without ceremony. 3 items materialize. Herring can, no rank. Fermented herring, an incomparable delicacy for certain creatures. Farmer's spring water, no rank. Ordinary water bottled by a farmer's wife, not sweet but quenches thirst. Small water bucket blueprint, black iron rank, after use grants the manufacturing technique for a small water bucket. Consumes 3 units of wood to craft a bucket of 10-liter capacity. Big bucket carries a lot. I remember streamers vomiting on stream from herring and decided it's trade goods, not food. I would throw up more than I would keep down. The water is what I urgently need, and I unscrew it and take a small sip. And even though the description warned that the unsweetened water is plain, my parched mouth finds it sweeter than any beverage I have ever had. Refreshing. The blueprint hits last and hits hardest, because in the dark world crafting needs blueprints, handcrafting is slow and quality is unreliable. A water bucket is universal, and 8 billion transmigrants form an impossibly large market. This is a hen that lays golden eggs worth far more than an ordinary bronze item. I will never trade it. I use it on the spot, and the message confirms I have mastered small water bucket manufacturing. If a black iron chest yields this much, what does a bronze, silver, gold yield? I rein the daydream in. The territory is 300 meters around, but actually 280,000 square meters, and a chest the size of a basketball in that environment is a needle in a haystack. Finding one is already extreme luck. Still, I sweep the entire ring for an hour and find only an open-air stone quarry to the west. No other chests, no fruit, just barrenness. The upside of barrenness is no beasts. With chests off the table for now, I follow the original plan and sweat through the birch grove for 3 units of wood, then come back to attempt a bucket. 10 minutes per bucket. I had assumed crafting would be instant. The math, chopping 1 unit takes 10 minutes including rest, and a bucket costs 3 units of wood plus 10 minutes of crafting. If buckets sell for 4 units of wood, anything above 4 is pure profit, and given the crafting bottleneck, supply will lag demand, so they will not be cheap. I will list at night when everyone is back inside. For the next several hours I gather wood, craft buckets, and reserve wood for the night's bonfire. The work is grim. 6 hours later the sky has darkened, less than half an hour to night. I have stockpiled 7 buckets and 12 loose units of wood. My movements have gone stiff and slow, and I am about to walk back when another tree crashes, and there in the open is a chest emitting a dark green metallic luster. Another chest. I rub my eyes, half believing exhaustion is hallucinating, and the chest is still there, sweeping all my fatigue away. I sprint over. The handbook tags it treasure chest, bronze grade, with 20% unranked, 40% black iron, 30% bronze, and 10% silver. The branch fragment still wedged in its side tells me it fell from the birch I just felled, wedged perfectly into the leaves, the dark green completely matching them. Without the sun straight on it, I would never have found it even if I had searched the territory 10 times. From now on, I tell myself, do not stare only at the ground. Look up too. I open it, and 4 items appear, 1 more than the black iron held, so a bronze chest also drops more items. The first item is long, thick, black, and hard. Baguette, no rank, incredibly hard bread. Consume with caution if you have bad teeth. Doubles as a weapon. I have not eaten in a day and tears prick at the sight of food. I usually prefer rice and noodles, but I am not picky now. The second item. Disposable lighter, no rank, plastic case with 2/3 fuel left, and the gilded characters heaven and earth on the casing. A lighter of unusual origin, useless once empty. I caress it, reluctant to put it down. Even on Earth, in ordinary wilderness, a fire source is critical, let alone here. I cannot rub stick a fire and the bonfire died at dawn. Without a flame at night, the dark could finish me. The lighter is no rank in name only. To me it is far more precious than an ordinary black iron item. The first 2 are useful, but I am conflicted. This is a bronze chest, and I expected a bronze item. The third item answers it. Bronze axe, bronze grade, made of bronze, sturdier and sharper than stone, with the description ribbing me about whether I drop this bronze axe, this silver axe, or this golden axe. I swing it twice and the air whistles. Chopping speed should more than double. As expected of a bronze axe, if I use this to chop, I want to charge into the trees and fell 100, but the sun is going. I shift to the 4th item. The 4th item makes the bronze axe slip out of my grip and thump to the floor. A palm-sized glass bottle, slender-necked, holding more than half of pale purple liquid that shimmers eerily in the last of the sunset. Fountain of mutation, silver rank, sustainable. When placed on the ground forms a fountainhead of alienation that produces 100 milliliters of mutated spring water per day. Ingestion causes unknown mutations in living creatures with effect related to amount consumed, with a glib pitch about not having enough hands and legs and joining the path of evolution. A silver from a bronze chest is 10% probability and I have hit it the first time. I was already content with one bronze item, and a silver came on top. Better still, it is sustainable, far more valuable than any one weapon or tool. The unknown mutations warning makes me promise I will absolutely never drink it on myself. The thought of growing extra arms after a sip sends a shiver through me. Even if I never use it, it trades for resources, and someone else may want to taste evolution. The note says any living creature, so plants and animals also count, though the actual outcome is anyone's guess. A cold gust hits, I tighten my coat, and the panel reads 21 minutes of daytime left. I haul the chest, the buckets, and the wood back, racing against full dark, then light the bonfire from the lighter and slowly thaw out. Outside, the dark is the kind that swallows everything, and the howls are distant but real. The wilderness at night is too dangerous. From now on, return to shelter early. With the bonfire's protection, I finally exhale. Meanwhile, the region channel is a whale. My bonfire went out. Send fire, please. Attach selfie. Why do you need to borrow fire when you are already this hot, brother? I do not buy that. Damn it, the temperature dropped again. What do I do? What can you do? Upgrade your shelter and prep more cold weather gear. That is all there is. Rubbing sticks for fire does not work like the survival shows on TV. Do not be ridiculous. Do you think you are Bear Grylls? Flint, 10 units of wood per piece. Only 3 pairs left. First come, first served. You profiteer. This is the time to unite. You should give it to everyone for free. Moral hypocrites, get out. Take it or leave it. Or wait for the dark to swallow you whole. The desperation in the chat is real, and the regional counter is sliding down hour by hour as the night drags on. I quietly congratulate myself on the lighter. Without it, I would be paying through the nose for an open flame right now. I pick up the fountain of mutation. It produces water if placed on the ground, but I am not putting a silver rank mutation source outside where some passing monster could drink it and stop my shelter flat. I dig a 1 square meter, 30 centimeter deep hollow in the middle of the floor with the bronze axe, uncork the bottle, and pour the liquid in. The purple seeps into the soil and lighter purple wells back up. The panel confirms the fountainhead is formed, and the current mutated spring water reserve is 100 milliliters. I am about to open trade to check bucket prices when the broadcast cuts in. The first day has ended. Survivor, the voice says. Have you striven for survival? To reward survivors who have worked hard, resources obtained will be converted into reward lottery wheels based on value. Each person gets 1 wheel, and the points are only used for tier calculation. Tier 1 requires more than 50 points and grants a lottery wheel, black iron rank. Tier 2 requires more than 100 and grants a bronze wheel. Tier 3 requires more than 200 and grants a silver wheel. Tier 4 requires more than 500 and grants a gold wheel. My breakdown is read out next. 33 units of basic resources at 33 points. 4 no-grade items at 40 points. 1 black iron item at 20 points. 1 bronze item at 50 points. Total 293 points. 1 lottery wheel of silver rank. A silver light flashes, and a palm-sized old silver-white compass-like item drops slowly into my hand. I feel the rough texture against my palm, and surprise gives way to joy. The manual's last note about good luck favoring strivers is not an empty promise after all, and the system has put a tangible reward into a striver's hand on day 1. I run the math. I cleared Tier 3 by 93 points, but the Tier 4 line is 500. By the conversion ratio, even 3 silvers leave me 50 short. I found a bronze chest and a black iron chest in a single day, and rolled a silver inside, which is already among the luckiest paths possible. Many people probably did not even see a black iron chest. Even so, I am still far from Tier 4. Will anyone hit it? I shake the daydream off. I am already lucky, and I am not so close to the next line that the loss aches. The people 1 or 2 points short are the ones who will not sleep tonight. The chat confirms it as the rewards drop. Why did nobody warn about quests? I chopped a few trees and got 6 points and 0 rewards. I want compensation. You lazy dog, blaming gravity for your inability to crap the weak die first. My mentality is shattered. 99 points. 1 point off second tier. Pain, brother. I have 51. Exactly 1 over. Want to borrow it. You cannot lend points and you are rubbing salt in the wound. Despicable. Good thing I got 53. Big brother, how did you hit 99? I axed until it smoked and got 60. Oh, I just opened a black iron chest and the items added points. Chests, there are chests here. I missed a fortune shopping all day. The clown is me. From the chatter I scrape out useful information. The basic resource conversion rate to reward points is not the same for everyone. Some physically strong males got nothing for a unit of wood, while some weaker females got 2 points or more for the same unit, which means anyone working hard enough to gather resources is at least guaranteed Tier 1. Tier 2 is rare. Tier 3 is much rarer. I have not seen anyone in my brief scan admit to it, let alone Tier 4, though it is entirely possible some are playing dumb to develop quietly. The settlement also confirms an obvious world-building point. The system tracks per day, per survivor, and rewards effort rather than only outcome, so even the meekest grinder eats. The catch is that tier skipping requires items, and items require luck, and luck is finite. The people in chat who hit 99 and missed by 1 point will lose sleep tonight. I am not one of them. The compass tags itself lottery compass, silver rank, randomly draws 1 silver rank item, single use, formerly the livelihood of a third-rate geomancer whose livelihood later became a broken bowl. The joke is presumably that he wound up a beggar, truly third-rate. A silver wheel hands me a silver item directly, which means a gold wheel hands a gold item. Overpowered. Silver is not easy. A bronze chest only has 10% odds. Statistically, 10 chests from 1, and rolling silver from 1 chest must have eaten a year of my luck. Use it early, enjoy it early. Use it late, and there is no discount. I trigger it. The pointer spins across fan-shaped grids etched with characters I cannot read, then slows under my nervous gaze and settles around 45 degrees clockwise. A silver light flashes, and a beast skin scroll bearing a purple eye appears. Skill scroll. Eye of Taming, silver rank, uses to learn the skill of the same name, which slightly raises the spiritual power limit and grants the ability to tame creatures with spiritual power lower than mine, with the number-controlled scaling on spiritual power, with a clip about colored contacts not being for Chunibu and weak creatures submitting or dying. 21 years old and my face still flushes at this writing style, but I have built up resistance to weird item descriptions and recover quickly. Beast Taming. That is the Beast Tamer class in games. The Dark World clearly has supernatural items, not just biotech. Every other item could be explained as genetic engineering, but a skill scroll cannot. The supernatural means unknown, which means danger, and a sense of urgency rises. I have a head start and must work harder. Only enough strength deals with unknown threats. And in a supernatural world, there might be powers that bring back the dead. Grandpa, maybe I can still see you. I clench the scroll and use it. The scroll spontaneously combusts, and a faint, imperceptible purple light drives into my left eye. The pain is like thousands of needles, and I drop to my knees, screaming, almost ready to dig the eye out. Half a minute later, the pain ends with a confirmation that I have learned Eye of Taming silver rank. I am drenched in cold sweat with my heart still racing, filled with lingering fear. The scroll never warned me of the pain at all. From now on, scrolls get used in safe places only, because if a monster found me mid-learning, it would be over. Fortunately, I was inside the shelter. My head feels clearer, and I sense a faint instinct in my left eye, like I can control whatever I look at by thought alone. My pupil has gone light purple and looks eerie, though I do not see that yet. The eye only tames creatures with weaker spiritual power, and spiritual power involves the brain, so failure could be catastrophic. I must use it on creatures clearly weaker, and I cannot test it now in a shelter empty of any creature. I am not walking into the night to find monsters. That is just suicide. I give up testing for now and head to the empty chest where the baguette sits, planning to eat and then go list buckets. When I open the chest, my pupils contract. Swarms of large black ants, each soybean-sized with size-shaped mandibles wide open, are feasting on my baguette, with new arrivals streaming in along pheromone trails. Dark world creatures are abnormal. Those mandibles cut through rock-hard bread and kick up fine breadcrumbs, and the baguette is already a tenth gone. Thieves, I shout. Get off my baguette. This is my only food, and I have not even had a bite, and watching it shrink makes me anxious and angry. But I will not punch them with a bare hand, because their mandibles are scythes and my hand is softer than the bread, and a single bite would tear flesh in seconds. I scrabble for a tool and find none in reach. As the bread keeps disappearing, the just acquired skill clicks back into my head. How could I forget? Ants are creatures. As long as it is a creature, the Eye of Taming can tame it. Maybe? Ants have small brains and weak spiritual power, and mine cannot possibly be lower than theirs, so they are perfect for the test. The ants gnawing at my baguette go from disgusting to adorable in an instant. There are at least dozens on the bread. I pick the happiest looking one and trigger Eye of Taming for the first time. A faint, almost imperceptible purple flickers in my left eye, and the ant freezes mid-bite. A connection clicks open between us. If I want, I can sense its thoughts and command it. I tell it to perform a few small movements, and it obeys precisely. Controlling an unintelligent creature like this carries no burden, so I sweep my gaze across the others one after another, and they freeze in place like a pause button has been pressed. Dozens go down in a single string, until no active ant remains in sight. Then I feel a subtle pressure in my brain, a protective ceiling on my control with no other adverse effect. Even on creatures as weak as ants there is a control limit. The cap must scale with my spiritual power. To control more and stronger creatures, spiritual power must rise. I will need to pay attention to items that boost it on the trade channel. After a brief contemplation, I order all the ants off the baguette and into a line on the floor, 63 of them. The handbook tags them as black scythe ant, no rank, completely black, mandibles shaped like scythes, possessing extremely strong biting force, ability none. No rank, no abilities, too weak. The black scythe ant is strong among ants but still an ant, and if they had not been on my food, I could have crushed most of them by stepping. As I wonder how to deal with them, my gaze lands on the fountain of mutation in the center of the room, and my mind opens. Mutated spring water mutates creatures unpredictably, beneficial or harmful, cheap, disposable, plentiful. That describes black scythe ants exactly. With enough of them, some lucky ones mutate beneficially, and the rest are no loss. The thought of strong individuals coming out of this restless bunch makes me jittery. Without further hesitation, I order them all to drink a mouthful. They march down the wall I dug like a disciplined army, approach the fountain and drink without hesitation. Their bodies twist and deform. Some swell like balloons and pop into mush. Half a minute later, only 41 remain alive. 21 died in the mutation, corpses strewn around the fountain. My stomach twists at the sight. Mutated spring water cannot be used casually. The death rate is too high. But my attention snaps to the survivors. Most are grotesquely deformed. Extra legs, missing mandibles, bloated bellies several times normal that they cannot drag along, and the panel marks them harmful and useless. 8, however, stand out. Thumb-sized, dozens of times larger than before, darker and shinier, with 10-centimeter scythe mandibles. Black scythe hunting ant, black iron rank, swift and possessing terrifying mandibles capable of immense destructive power. Ability 10-fold biting force. The 8 are the lucky beneficial mutations, and not only did they evolve, they jumped a rank. Ant biting force was already terrifying. These gnawed through hard bread before mutation, and now combined with 10-fold biting force, I half believe they could chew rocks. If a person were caught between those mandibles, I would rather not picture it. Hunting ants pose lethal threats to many creatures, and at scale even larger beasts would struggle. But there are only 8, so the ant army fantasy waits. I do not know where the black scythe ants came from. I will need to find their nest and capture the queen, and then the army becomes possible. The hunting ants would happily go nest hunting now, but it is night, and them tunneling around outside risks luring monsters in. Day phase only, then. The 8 hunting ants get restless, and I follow their gaze to the corpses and the deformed kin on the floor. They want to eat them. I have been wondering how to dispose of the waste, and I let them. They swarm and devour everything, corpses and living deformed kin alike, until their bellies are round, and as they eat, the pressure in my head eases significantly. The hunting ants are no longer the same species as ordinary black scythe ants, which is why they will eat their living kin without hesitation, and from now on, any failed mutation can be clean-up fed to them. I recover a good chunk of spiritual power and nod to myself, satisfied. I wonder whether the hunting ants themselves can mutate further. If black iron is already this strong, silver would be a leap. I look at them, and the 8 tremble visibly and step back instinctively, even though they cannot resist my commands. Are you serious about taking that step back? I think wryly. The seed of curiosity is planted. I cannot stop now. Before I can press further, the broadcast cuts in. World announcement. To better assist survivors and guide them in the right direction, a temporary mission is now issued. Temporary mission, upgrade shelter. Please upgrade your shelter to level 2. Survivors who rank in the global top 10% for upgrade speed receive a resource gift package, choosing one of warmth package, food package, or tool package. Survivors who rank in the regional top 100 receive a skill selection gift package, with quality scaling on rank. Both channels go feral. People want all 3 packages and all the skill ranks at once. Holy crap, warmth, food, tool. I want them all. What do I do? Can I have all 3? Somebody pee on him to wake him up. Skill selection package. What skills? This sounds like a game. This is not scientific, is it? If I can grab all of these, I take off. Who is willing to exchange resources with me? People are pulling out wooden spears at 15 wood or 5 stones each, marketed as a self-defense weapon for home and travel against monster knocks at the door. A streamer is offering tenderness in private with chat or video for a little wood and stone, promising the customer's heart will be comforted. Someone is lending 50 wood and 20 stone at 10% daily interest with a call for serious lenders. It is the 8 immortals crossing the sea, each on their own wave. To upgrade fast, every trick comes out. I cannot afford to study the ants further. Ants can be studied any time, but missing this temporary mission means missing the rewards forever. Even my well-stocked self drools at the package list. I yank up the manual and dive into the trade channel. The mission has world rewards and regional rewards. Top 10% globally is easy for me. I would have to be incompetent to miss it, since I already have abundant resources and items, and if I cannot make top 10%, I might as well find a block of tofu and slam my head against it. Top 100 regionally is the top 1% of 10,000. I am confident I make it, but my goal is not just to make it. The higher the regional rank, the better the skill. And I want first, or at least top 3 or top 5. I just hope no freaks live in my region. I open the trade channel and item listings scroll past, each tagged with owner, exchange terms, and a comment board. Wool sweater, no rank, owner Jang Dapio, 50 wood or 10 stone. A buyer with only 15 wood begs for a discount and gets called poor. A haggler suggests Pindu Duo at $9.99. Jang Dapio tells him to order it on the dark world and see if the courier delivers. Sharp machete, black iron rank, 60 wood plus 5 stone. The listings are varied and most are price gouged on day 1 with everyone short, with sellers fighting hagglers in the comments because the goods cost real labor. I get it, but at these prices nothing will move. The market will self-correct soon enough. The trade channel is too chaotic and gives me a headache, but a filter exists. I filter for containers and pages of them appear, sorted only by listing order. No price sort. Wooden bowl, no rank, 300 milliliters, 1 wood. Small wooden wine glass, no rank, 30 milliliters, 1 wood. Empty mineral water bottle, no rank, 500 milliliters, 2 wood. Wooden bucket, no rank, 2 liters, 5 wood or 1 stone. A container is essential because water sources mean nothing without something to carry it in. The big factor is capacity, and I look at capacity per cost. After 5 pages, almost nothing exceeds 1 liter, and even empty mineral water bottles are relatively spacious in this market. By scan, I work out that my buckets are worth around 15 wood by volume, but on day 1, nobody can afford 15. I want quick sales for upgrade points, so I listed a market-piercing 12 wood or 2 stone per bucket. Normally 1 stone mining tools are scarce, so stone goes for more, and I price the trade trap accordingly. I have 7 buckets and put them all up. I can craft more, no need to hold any back. I post on World Channel, small wooden buckets, 10 liter capacity, 12 wood listed on Trade Channel. Limited, first come first served. The reactions are immediate. A 4 liter basin for 8 wood, what a ripoff compared to this. I have 2 stone. I cannot upgrade today anyway, might as well get cheap goods. Boss Jang Hyun is generous. Do not fight me, I will take them all and resell at a profit. You beast, scalping after transmigrating brothers rush. Do not let middlemen eat the margin. I am not surprised someone calls me by name. Chat speech displays real-life avatar and name. World Channel allows 3 messages per day, so I do not waste another. Within 10 seconds, the 7 buckets are gone, and a stream of private orders comes in. Among them, someone named Cheongha asks to buy 5 buckets after the temporary mission ends. I do not know why she would want so many, but a customer is a customer. I agree. Tally. 7 buckets sold for 60 wood and 4 stone. Plus my 12 wood, I am now 28 wood and 16 stone short of the upgrade. Wood is manageable. The stone gap is the problem. Buckets are absurdly profitable. 3 wood resold for 4 times the price, but 10 minutes of crafting per unit means I cannot brute force the gap. Looking at the popularity, I want to crank out 100 more on the spot, but every second matters in a regional race, and slow crafting will not win first place. Sacrifices have to be made, so I drop that idea and start listing things to sell. Herring can. Sell. List at 10 wood. After all, it is a specialty food. Normal food is common, but Oreo-flavored herring is rare, and rich tastes are weird. Disposable lighter, keep, cannot sell. The bitten baguette, sell, listed 3 wood. I can buy a fresh one later. Bronze axe, keep. To my surprise, the herring can and the chewed baguette both sell within a minute. Even so, I am still 15 wood and 16 stone short. Sell the hunting ants? Black iron rank creatures should be worth something, but I have only 8 and there are still many open questions to study with them, so unless absolutely necessary, no. Wood I can chase, stone I cannot. Riding a bicycle to a bar, save where you can, spend where you must. I turn to the most valuable thing I own, the mutated spring water. Reserve sits at 93.8 milliliters. The small ant trial used only 6.2 milliliters because ants drink almost nothing. I cut 12 small wooden cups with grooves to hold liquid using the bronze axe. Take out 60 milliliters of spring water and divide it into 12 5-milliliter portions. I list them at 13 wood per portion, or 2 stone, and post a second World Channel ad. Silver rank items, discounted prices. Come and grab them quickly. The reactions ride between disbelief that I have a silver rank item, lament about the gap between people, and rapid buying, since spring water is niche and only specific needs match it. The trade trap pricing leans buyers towards stone. Sale successful, 2 stone. Sale successful, 2 stone. In 2 minutes, 8 portions are gone for 16 stone, exactly enough for the shelter upgrade. The pace then slows on the spring water because curious onlookers are sated, and my World Channel ad is buried. I am only 15 wood from upgrading and about to cap exchanges at wood, when Cheongha DMs again, asking if I can lower the price to 40 wood for the 4 remaining portions. The same rich woman who pre-ordered 5 buckets is now buying out 4 silver rank portions, which strongly suggests she has already upgraded and has wood to spare. We are not in the same region, and her offer matches my mental floor. I do not haggle, I take it. Sale successful, 40 wood. The moment the trade clears, I open the manual, hit upgrade. Survivor detected meeting conditions. Consume 100 wood and 20 stone. Yes. Shelter upgrading, please wait. Shelter successfully upgraded to level 2. Wooden house. Then the broadcast fire. Top 10% globally for upgrade speed. Resource gift package. Choose between warmth, food, or tool. And the second one, sharper. Congratulations, you are the first survivor in this region to upgrade your shelter. Reward skill selection gift package. Gold rank. I do not relax until the broadcast confirms first regionally. The cheap sell losses have been earned back with interest, and gold rank for first place is unexpectedly generous. The world rank package can wait. I open the skill selection card first. Palm-sized package. Inside is a card entirely golden with a question mark printed on its face. Skill selection card. Gold rank, after used, randomly draws 3 gold rank skills, from which one can be chosen. So selection means a forced random 3, almost a scam, but I have nowhere to complain or protest. A gold pick out of 3 is still strong. I tell myself to feel better and use it. The card rises into the air, spins for a few seconds, and splits into 3 golden cards with different patterns etched on them. The system asks me to choose one. Elemental Affinity, Water, Gold Rank, raises affinity with water elements by 100% and comprehensively enhances water-based skill effects. Berserk, Gold Rank, on activation greatly raises attributes and significantly boosts recovery for 10 minutes, then enters weakened state, reusable after recovery. Species Contract, Gold Rank, contracts a species and greatly enhances control over that species. These are hard-earned gold skills, so I read each carefully. Water Affinity is dead in the water, pun acknowledged. Without water-based skills, and I have only a sip of farmer's water. No telling when I would even pick up matching skills. Skip. Berserk is a clutch lifesaver and could counterkill a stronger enemy at a critical moment, but the weakened state duration is unspecified. A day or 2 of weakness in this dark world is a death sentence, and the risk is unacceptable. Species Contract reads vague but matches what I already have. The term control is vague but the side effects look minimal, and mutated spring water plus Eye of Taming pushes the beast tamer path. I also have a nagging suspicion. In this dark world, everyone gets various skills, resources, and items like in a game. But unlike the games I played, there are no fixed professions or fixed skills, and what each of us picks up is random. This is a free world, full of infinite possibilities, and everyone has to plan their own growth path. With limited resources, the worst sin is wanting everything. The 3 skills here clearly correspond to Mage, Warrior, and Beast Tamer. My core resources are most suitable for Beast Tamer. My head start owes more to luck than skill, and competition is light only because everyone is starting at 0. If I do not commit to a path now and waste the head start, I will be passed quickly. I pick Species Contract and silently commit to Beast Tamer. The cards vanish and the system asks for the contract subject. The only creature I have tamed is the black scythe hunting ant, so I name it. Selected contracted species ants. Successfully established a species contract with the ant tribe group. The contracted species cannot be changed. Cannot be changed. The skill description never said that. Is this a scam? My dream was to be a dragon knight. What the hell are ants? I am on the verge of tears, feeling like the sky is falling. 3 minutes later, I sigh helplessly and accept reality. I only have ants right now anyway. Ants are cheap and easy to acquire, and pair beautifully with mutated spring water. And maybe one day they mutate into giant flying fire-breathing ants. If I cannot be a dragon knight, ant knight will do. I look at the new skill, Species Contract, Ants, Gold Rank, greatly enhances control over ant tribe creatures. Vague again, a gold skill cannot be too weak, right? I look at a hunting ant to test, and the readout expands far beyond before. Black Scythe Hunting Ant, Black Iron Rank, swift action with mandibles of powerful destructive force. Potential Silver Rank, Type Combat, ability 10-fold bite force. Current mutation evolution success rate 11%. Feeding flesh-type material increases the rate. It is highly likely to evolve into a combat type, with a very small chance of mutating into other types. The skill is not raw combat power but a cultivation map. Potential, type, current rate, the resource that boosts the rate. Without it, cultivating ants would be flailing in the dark. With it, I cultivate efficiently and on purpose. Worth the slot. I open the resource gift package and consider the 3 options against current trade prices. Then choose warmth. The precautions mentioned a monthly natural disaster, and given the worsening cold, the first one is almost certainly extreme cold, and warm goods will price spike. Food and water can be bought from the trade channel. Inside is a cotton suit and a cotton quilt, far more than I expected. I put on the suit and feel my hands and feet thaw. So warm. I should sleep a little better tonight. I check the upgraded shelter. Level 2 wooden house. Upgrade requirements for level 3, 500 wood, 100 stone, plus all facilities built. Floor area is now 20 square meters, 4 times the hut, and the wooden walls feel sturdy enough not to vanish in a strong wind, greatly raising my sense of security. New buildable facilities unlocked. Storage cabinet at 30 wood, can store food and slow spoilage. Wooden bed at 50 wood, made of solid wood, improves rest efficiency. Dual-use stove at 30 stone dispels darkness from inside the shelter at night and serves as a cook fire. All 3 are essential. Food is precious here, so a cabinet that slows spoilage is huge. Last night I slept on cold hard ground and barely rested. A wooden bed will change everything. The dual-use stove dispels night darkness and lets me cook hot food in this freezing weather. Double enjoyment for body and soul. The facility costs are modest, but the next shelter upgrade is brutal and requires all facilities first. Weaker survivors without chests may not upgrade for 10 or 15 days. And even for me it is not easy. I have a craft skill to lean on though. After upgrading I still have wood, so I keep crafting buckets while reading the channel. People are envying the regional 5th place who got a silver skill. Salute to the big shot. I want skills too. Sigh, should I go all in? Can I still make top 100 regionally? Hesitation breeds defeat. Just commit and get it over with. They are interesting people, and the chat is still half adrenaline and half bravado as the temporary mission winds down. Some are calculating whether they can sell the family silver for the last few units. Others are pivoting to chain craft items and selling them at thin margins to scrape past the cutoff. A few are openly trash-talking everyone who has not made the cut yet, the kind of bravado that masks panic. The skill selection rewards seem to weigh on everyone the most. Silver in regional 5th means survivors above me may have rolled gold, and the prodigies in the global front may have rolled higher than that. I buy a rye bread for 5 wood and chew while I work. My hands keep shaping buckets while my head plans next steps. Food first. My territory is barren and only the trade channel feeds me, but cold will price spike or even strangle supply, which is deadly, so a stable food source is mandatory. Growth path next. To scale ant control, I need spiritual power items. Otherwise, even ants cap out. Ant variety also matters. Based on the black scythe trial, different species probably mutate down different paths. Combat for some, construction for some, transport for others. So multiple species are required. Ants near my shelter are limited, so a buy task on the trade channel is the play. Plus, watching for spiritual power skills. An hour later, I have 6 more buckets beside me. The temporary mission winds down, and I scan the broader picture. Each region has 10,000 people, 8 billion total means over 800,000 regions. And the regional top 100 slots are all filled while the global top 10% still has a few open spots. Of those who have not upgraded, very few will today. Less than a tenth of the world's transmigrants made the level 2 upgrade on day 1. Lucky people are a minority, and my expression darkens. I keep crafting. The image stays with me. 8 billion souls dropped into 10,000 person cells with thatched walls and a fire. Told to survive, and on the very first night, the death counter is already in the hundreds of thousands. I'm sitting on 3 chests of luck nobody else opened, and I cannot afford to coast on it. Buckets, food source, spiritual power, ant variety, cold preparation, partner cultivation, every line item is real, and night is not long enough to address them all. My private message blinks. Opening it is Chungha again, asking whether I have any buckets for trade now. She buys steadily and finally pulls my attention. Her avatar is a young woman with an oval face and a gentle smile. Dark world avatars cannot be photoshopped or beautified, so the face is real, and even I, who am usually face blind, have to admit she is beautiful. I do not have impure thoughts. I head straight to her wallet and quietly decide to mark up. With that appearance and temperament, she has to be wealthy and high status and not short on money. If she could read my mind right now, she would be speechless. I confirm I have buckets and ask how many. 5, she says, and asks if I still have mutated spring water for sale. I have 33.8 milliliters left from the original allocation, and the spring eye produces another 100 milliliters daily that the ants barely touch, so yes. I tell her I can sell 20 milliliters now, but I want better resources for it. She should have some. In a different corner of the dark world, a tree thick enough that 10 people would need to encircle it carries a small wooden house on its main trunk. Other survivors would gawk at the engineering. Chungha is the owner, and she frowns at my message. How did he know? Well, she did buy too many tools from him at the start of the temporary mission. At that point, only people with no hope of finishing or with overflowing resources could afford to spend wood on tools, and she is the second category. She is not against my pitch. With temporary missions ended, rare items return to their inherent value. She replies, no problem, take a look at these. Multi-ear winter wheat seeds, black iron rank, mutated variant with 100 times the yield of regular winter wheat and stronger cold resistance. Ripening potion, bronze grade. Applied to plants accelerates growth. Lower quality plants benefit more. 2-color goji berry, silver rank, slightly enhances physique and increases resistance. My eyes light up. The seeds plus the potion solve my food problem outright. A plot of multi-year winter wheat means I never lose to food shortages. The goji berry is even better, since there are no hospitals here and even a mild cold can be fatal. So a permanent physique and resistance bump is invaluable. I keep my reply flat. Not bad. How do you want to trade? Xiongha knows exactly how heavy these items are at this stage of the world, and smiles at my poker face. She offers 100 multi-ear winter wheat seeds, 3 bottles of ripening potion, 1 2-color goji berry, in exchange for 20 milliliters of mutated spring water and 5 buckets. What do I think? I freeze for a moment, not because the price is low, but because it is high, far above expectations. By my own reckoning, 30 seeds plus 1 bottle of potion plus the goji berry would already have been a good trade. She is generous to the point of strange. I had intended to fleece her, and now I am almost embarrassed. That is the power of a rich woman, and I almost lose the will to grind. Willpower wins. I push back. That is too much. My goods are not worth that. She replies quietly. In items the math is uneven, but she values my development potential. Long-term cooperation then. We are far apart and she has no recourse if I take the trade and ghost her, so paying extra on a possibility is a confidence move. Sensing my pause, she adds, your regional rank in this temporary mission cannot be low. Your mutated spring water as a silver rank sustainable resource matters greatly to me. I am willing to take a certain risk. Cooperation is mutual and you also need things I have, and the dark world's danger far exceeds what either of us imagines, so partners survive better. Long-term is the framing. She is right that the spring water is what really matters, and the cooperation framing follows. My own preference is to specialize in one path and concentrate resources in that direction. Like classes in a game where combat recon support and logistics combine to outperform generalists. The risk is that specializing creates weaknesses, and entrusting safety to a stranger is a death sentence. This is not a game. I have only set my own career path. If her toolkit complements mine, long-term works. I ask, cooperation needs mutual benefit. Do you have other advantages? Because once my food is self-sufficient, these go down in value. She is not annoyed and answers confidently. All her items, skills, and resources are plant-related, giving her a unique advantage in cultivating plants. The multi-ear winter wheat is her own breed with astonishing yield. As long as I keep trading her spring water, she keeps cultivating mutated plants, and she will give me first dibs. Without plant specialization, I would burn resources for poor results. Once I have used spring water myself, I know exactly what she means, that harmful mutations dominate beneficial ones. Cooperation is full win-win, so she is also a path-committed survivor, just on plants. Smart people abound. I am not the only one to commit early. With her continually breeding mutated plants for me, the partnership is real. I drop the hesitation and agree. Happy cooperation. Happy cooperation. We complete the trade. Then I ask casually why she started buying from me at the start of the temporary mission instead of selling for upgrade points. She replies, "Oh, that I had already upgraded my shelter to level 2 during the day, so the mission was completed instantly when it dropped. During the day." I freeze in place. In a distant corner of the dark world, Cheongha chuckles softly, having anticipated exactly this reaction, and tells herself that showing a little strength helps cooperation. After the trade, I am near broke, so I keep crafting and selling buckets through the night. The night runs 16 hours, and sleeping all of it is wasteful. I plan 7 hours of sleep and the rest at the bench. Her offhand reveal sticks under my skin. I knew there would be freaks who upgraded fast, but daytime upgrade is on another level, and my imagination cannot reconstruct it. Even for me, felling a tree takes 8 minutes. Could she be a delicate-looking woman who is actually a muscle-bound axe wielder? Lucky we are not in the same region, otherwise I would only be competing for second place. I sketch a figure with 2 axes and bulging muscles tearing through trees, only for the face to turn around and be Cheongha. I shiver, snap out of the daze, check the time and find that 8 unconscious hours have passed. What was I thinking? Cheongha's ability is plant-related, and that is how she upgraded so fast. The muscle scenario was a fatigue hallucination. I have been crafting too long, mental and physical strength are at the limit. I push through the bucket I am working on and stop, surveying the heap in the room. The 8 hours have been rough. My hands are stiff from repetition, and the bucket that took 10 minutes early on now takes 20 as my speed sags. I have made 39 buckets, including one left over from a trade, exactly 40. I keep 10 and sell the rest for 180 wood and 30 stone. Big shot now. I look at the shelter facilities. Storage cabinet, wooden bed, dual-use stove, total only 80 wood and 30 stone. And since they are inevitable, I build all 3 at once. The built facilities place where I want them, so the dual-use stove goes in the center, the wooden bed near it, and the storage cabinet far from the heat to slow food spoilage. I throw the cotton quilt onto the bed. The stove's strong warmth, the soft warm quilt, the comfortable bed. My eyelids droop, but I push through to open the trade channel one more time, because the seeds I traded from Cheonghao still need handling, and it is not yet time to sleep. 10 minutes of browsing pulls up exactly what I want. 3-story nursery, black iron rank, 2x2 meters, 3-story planter, increases plant growth speed by 10%. Owner Thompson 60 wood. A growth-speeding nursery is hard currency. The night is unknown ground and I will not plant my food outside, so an indoor nursery is mandatory. 60 wood is steep, but after hours of bucketing I can afford it. Hard-earned resources mean I will not pay sticker, and I haggle in the traditional way. The owner's name reads foreign, which would have killed my chances if not for the manual's translation function. I offer 55 wood. Thompson swears to God it is worth it, says it can grow delicious vegetables. I tell him post-mission everyone burned wood on upgrades and there are not many buyers at 60. He concedes to 56 and refuses to go lower. I am in a hurry to plant and sleep, so I take it and place the nursery near the door so daytime sun reaches the soil through the open curtain. Each layer is 2x2 meters with a soil tray and half a meter of headroom. No tall plants, but for me it is enough. I sow the 100 multi-ear winter wheat seeds evenly, drip ripening potion on each per Cheongha's instructions, and 1 bottle of potion is used up exactly. I water with 3 wood worth of river water. The seeds sprout out of the soil within a minute. The effect is so brutally fast it is unscientific. At this rate, harvest is days away, and clearly the dark world is past science, with its supernatural items and scrolls. I order the 8 hunting ants onto the nursery to loosen soil without harming the seedlings. Throw firewood into the stove, drop into the bed, wrap up in the cotton quilt, and go out cold. The voice wakes me. Dark world announcement. Congratulations, survivors. You have successfully survived another night. A natural disaster warning will be issued. I rub my eyes and slowly come up out of the dream. The panel reads daytime remaining 7 hours, 29 minutes, 12 seconds. I jolt. Did I oversleep? Did I waste half an hour of daytime? Then I check the chat and realize I did not oversleep. Daytime has been reduced from 8 hours to 7.5. Daytime is shorter. Before I can react, the announcement continues. This natural disaster, cold wave. In 7 days, an extremely low temperature cold wave will bring extreme cold to the entire dark continent. Please collect winter food as soon as possible and strive to survive the natural disaster. I am wide awake. Cold wave, the first natural disaster, is exactly what the worsening temperature implied, and most survivors expected something like it. What no one expected is 7 days. Once the wave hits and the outdoor temperature crashes, exploration becomes impossible, which means within those 7 days I need a month of food, a month of firewood, and warm gear adequate for extreme cold. All stockpiled inside the shelter. Even at my tier, the pressure is real and the urgency is sharp, let alone for survivors still in level 1 huts. Most are dirt poor with dilapidated thatched walls. I had thought the dark world was not that dangerous. Clearly I was wrong. I opened the region channel. Counter reads 9,531. Day 2, the wave has not even started, and that many are already gone. Every digit is a life. The chat is wails. Cold wave in 7 days for a whole month, just kill me now. Hungry already, I have not figured out today's food, let alone a month's stockpile. Maybe the wave has stages and we can still go out early on. Do not be too nervous, everyone. The cold wave should taper instead of crashing in at full force on day 1. Within these 7 days, we have to upgrade to level 2 or even level 3, or food alone will not save us. Yes, no time to argue. I am chopping. I just got a bronze axe yesterday and the sapling pile is finally moving. Selling river water in bulk, 3 wood per liter, deliver via trade channel. Selling raw flint, 10 wood apiece. Last batch before prices spike. Selling cotton scraps for makeshift insulation, 2 wood per bundle, only 10 bundles total. I close the channel before the noise can drag me into other people's panic. I open the trade channel and list 1 milliliter of mutated spring water at 10,000 wood. Not to sell it, just to stick a billboard on top of a high traffic listing. With a note attached, buying large quantities of various ant species, must include a queen ant, can trade in resources or items. Without a queen, the ant project cannot scale. I DM Chuong asking her to help look for ants nearby. As a plant specialist, she works the soil constantly and might bump into a colony. Then I prepare to head out. Past the nursery, I check the wheat, already heading. A few more hours and it is ripe. My thinking was too narrow. In the dark world, anything is possible. After warm-up, I take a few hunting ants and step outside. It is bright. Only a couple more degrees colder than yesterday. No other obvious changes. I set the hunting ants down and order them to find their queen and bring her back. Hunting ants evolved from black scythe ants and can read black scythe pheromones, so they have a real chance of locating the queen. Then I decide to spend half an hour exploring. A chest is huge profit if I find one, and even without one it is recon, after which I go chop trees. I head east opposite yesterday's direction. 10 minutes in I stop, frowning. I should have hit the dark border by now, and there is still bright forest ahead. I have a guess. Did level 2 expand my territory? The channel says nothing about it. I DM Chongha, who has already replied agreeing to help find ants, and I ask. She replies, after level 2 the territory expands from 300 meters to 500, and mutated beasts now appear around the territory and are very hard to deal with. Without strong combat means, do not explore yet. I thank her. I look at the new ground. Chests are likely inside it, but mutated beasts are also very real, and even ordinary beasts would beat me right now. A moment of patience opens a wider path. I will collect resources today, evolve a few hunting ants to silver, then come back. I retreat to the birch grove. After yesterday's work, most of the small saplings are gone, leaving thicker trees that take more effort but yield more wood. With the bronze axe that is manageable, I swing. 2 hours later, a wood pile sits beside me. As I plan to stop and start crafting buckets, a signal pings through the contract and I turn. The lead hunting ant is carrying a fat-abdomined ant, and the other 7 herd over 100 black scythe ants like officers escorting prisoners, all marching toward me. I beam with joy. The hunting ants have wiped out the nest. They brought the queen. The number of hunting ants problem is gone. I drop the axe and run over. Without preamble, purple flickers in my left eye and Eye of Taming hits the queen. Black scythe ant queen, no rank. Potential silver rank. Type reproductive. Current mutation evolution success rate, 48%. Feeding flesh-type materials raises the rate, highly likely to evolve into a reproductive type, with a small chance of mutating into other types. The moment I tame the queen, the hundreds of black scythe ants behind her stop their commotion and stand obediently in place. The realization lands fast. The queen is the leader of the colony, and taming her means controlling the entire colony. Great. This dramatically reduces my spiritual power burden. Do not underestimate it. A single ant takes little spiritual power, but at scale and after evolution the cost compounds. If controlling only the queen runs the colony, I can effortlessly manage millions of ants. The image lights me up, and my gaze on the queen gets fervent. She is too critical to allow any damage, and 48% is decent but far from safe enough. Fortunately, with Species Contract, I have a stable way to push the rate up. I dump the 41 units of wood from the morning chop to one side, and decide to prioritize the queen's mutation rate, because the sooner she mutates, the sooner she breeds hunting ants, and the sooner the army exists. I open the trade channel and filter for flesh. Daytime exploration. Few hunters yet. There are only a dozen pages. I skip unranked flesh entirely and focus on black iron and above. Excluding price gougers, a few candidates remain, and one comes out on top. Mutated rabbit meat, black iron rank, owner Will Porter, 20 wood per gin, half a kilo. Mutated wild boar meat, bronze grade, same owner, 40 wood per gin. Same person selling both at scale, which means combat power and intel I want, plus a price negotiable bulk volume. Counting the freshly chopped 41, I have 98 wood total. Enough. I DM Will. I will take the 1 gin of mutated rabbit meat and the 1 gin of mutated wild boar meat you have listed. Can the price be a bit lower? He takes 5 minutes to reply. Will, if you have looked at the trade channel, you know the price is already very favorable. Me, yes, but few people can afford meat right now and your listing has been up a while. I have a long-term demand for high-quality flesh, and we could establish long-term cooperation. In a distant corner of the dark world, a nearly 2-meter-tall white man, shirtless, props a blood-dripping long-handled axe on the ground and frowns at his manual. After thinking for a while, he writes back, I am somewhat interested in long-term cooperation. Since you can afford this much meat now, you must be a strong individual. I cannot lower the price further, but I can give you a small gift. He sends item info, mutated rabbit blood, black iron rank, and mutated wild boar blood, bronze grade. Beast blood also raises mutation success rate, effectively a discount. So I reply, okay, deal. We trade 60 wood for 1 gin of each meat plus the 2 bottles of blood. After the trade, I ask another question. Will, since you can hunt this many mutated beasts, you must know about them. Could you tell me a bit? I am ready to pay for the info, since mutated beast intel matters to me. Will is generous and replies almost instantly. Of course, no problem. I had hunted plenty of beasts even before coming to the Dark Continent. Mutated beasts here, compared to Blue Star beasts, have not only grown significantly larger, but also become more violent and savage in nature, and their appearance has changed too. The mutated rabbit is 80 centimeters long and has grown a pair of sharp fangs. The moment it saw me, instead of running, it charged at me with bloodshot eyes. Zhang Hyun, if you are not good at fighting, do not provoke them. They have already surpassed the scope of ordinary beasts. With Cheng Ha's earlier warning still ringing, my caution doubles. I thank Will. Mutated beasts have territory and generally do not wander, so as long as I do not approach the new ground, there should be no danger for now. I put down the manual and take out the mutated rabbit meat and mutated wild boar meat. Both are bright red, marbled, fresh, with rich blood smell. 2 days in this world feel like a month without meat, and my mouth waters at the thought of roasting them on the stove. I push the craving down and order the queen to eat the rabbit meat first. She crawls over, opens her scythe-like mandibles, and devours it ravenously. Her rate ticks from 48 to 49 and keeps climbing. Black iron flesh on a no-rank queen is a serious tonic. If black iron pushes this fast, what about bronze? Will bronze meat instantly hit 100%? I switch her to the mutated wild boar meat without hesitation, and the rate climbs faster, hitting 65% in minutes, and stalls. For an ordinary ant, 65 would be fantastic, but for a queen with no second chance, only 100 is truly safe. Then I look at her. Her bulging abdomen is now several times bigger, and she is lying beside the boar meat too full to move. She just ate too much. Scared me for a moment. I laugh self-deprecatingly and order her to digest, then keep eating, then go back to chopping nearby. Half an hour later, I check on her again. Her rate is at 100%. That was fast. I bring her to the mutated spring water and let her drink. Her body is several times bigger than a regular black scythe ant, and 1 gulp takes a full milliliter before she stops. Under my nervous gaze, her body expands rapidly and the mutation finishes. Black scythe hunter ant queen, black iron rank. Potential silver rank. Type reproductive. Ability rapid reproduction. Current mutation evolution success rate 11%, with the same flesh-feeding scaling and likely outcomes as before. Quality jumps from no rank to black iron and she gains rapid reproduction. More importantly, she now breeds black iron black scythe hunting ants directly, which means I never need to spend more spring water on individual hunter cultivation as long as I keep her fed. The hunting ants already have combat power. Numbers were the bottleneck, and that is solved. Once their numbers grow, hunting mutated beasts goes on the table. The ant army I have been imagining starts to look real, but the queen cannot do it alone. I gather the 8 existing hunting ants, drop 2 pieces of mutated beast nearby, let them eat alongside the queen to raise their own mutation rate, and pair them with her for breeding. Watching her bulging belly, I laugh. You, with food, drink, and a harem, you live more comfortably than I do. You must cultivate me a good army. I leave them to it, take the bronze axe, and head out again. As soon as I reach the birch grove, a private message comes in. I open it. It is Chongha again. Jang Hyun, I found a type of ant. See if it is useful to you. Without waiting for my reply, Chongha sends over the ant's information. Sentry ant queen, no grade, an ant with 3 pairs of compound eyes, swift in movement, and skilled in reconnaissance. The queen of a recon-type colony is exactly the missing link my plan needed. Meat-eaters under the black scythe hunter ant queen for combat, plant-eaters under a sentry ant queen for scouting, and one shared ant nest for them to live together with the nucleus once I find one. I beam. I just got a black scythe ant queen, and now this. Double happiness. I tell her it is incredibly useful and ask what resources I can exchange. She replies that she found the queen while loosening soil for her plants, and it took no effort. Free for me, we are allies. I push back. I cannot accept that, even if it is small to her, it is huge to me. Xiongla then asks if I would keep an eye out for plant seeds, and says she has to get back to work and will chat tonight. She trades me a wooden bottle. Inside is the sentry ant queen plus more than 20 sentry ants. 3 pairs of compound eyes each, long antennae and dark green helmet-shaped heads, all peeking around like tiny sentries on watch. This ally is too reliable. I owe her a real favor now. Seeds. I will look. Purple flickers in my left eye and the queen falls under my control without resistance. Sentry ant queen. No grade. Potential bronze grade. Type reproductive. Current mutation evolution success rate 67%. Feeding plant-based materials raises the rate. Highly likely to evolve reproductive type with a small chance otherwise. Species contract gives me readings Chungha cannot see. Bronze potential is a lower ceiling than the black scythe hunter ant queen silver, which is mildly disappointing. Different species, different growth potentials. But the sentry ant feeds on plants, and the rate is already at 67, so the food path is far cheaper. Compared to the black scythe hunting ant, which eats meat, this is brutally cost-effective. And these are scouts, which for me may be more useful than combat ants. The sentry ant queen with her 4 eyes, antennae, and round belly looks at me, and I nod, satisfied. Plant matter from any old grass works, but growth rate caps if the plants are ordinary. For that I need the plant expert. I shamelessly DM Chongha again, asking if she has high-quality plant materials that are plentiful and filling. She is busy and replies in 3 minutes asking what kind, food or otherwise. Any plant, I tell her, wood or leaves, does not have to be food. She says. How about this? Sandalwood wutong wood, bronze grade. I knew I asked the right person. I tell her this is great, and ask how she wants to trade. And please do not give it for free again. Otherwise next time I will be too embarrassed to ask. She smiles to herself. Small things reveal character. And although I have what she needs, if I were too greedy she would only do limited cooperation. Only with acceptable character does she treat me as a long-term ally. She replies fairly. Although bronze grade, it is still wood with limited uses. So 1 unit of sandalwood wutong for 5 units of regular wood. I take it without haggling. I place the wood beside the new sentry ant queen and 10 of her sentry ants, and they start gnawing. The rate climbs fast. 5 minutes later, all 11 hit 100%, and I bring them to the spring water. The sentry ant queen mutates faster than the black scythe ant queen. 1 minute and she is done. The 10 ordinary sentry ants finish even quicker. Sentry ant queen, black iron rank, potential bronze grade, type reproductive, ability rapid reproduction, current mutation evolution success rate 10%, plant materials raise the rate, likely reproductive evolution, sentry ant, black iron rank, potential bronze grade, type reconnaissance, ability basic agility, current mutation evolution, success rate 10%, plant materials raise the rate, likely reconnaissance evolution. Unlike the black scythe ants, who jumped dozens of times in size, the sentry ant queen only got a few sizes bigger, and the workers are unchanged. The queen has rapid reproduction like the other queen, and the workers picked up basic agility. Compared to tenfold bite force, basic agility sounds boring, until I let one move. It crosses the shelter in seconds faster than I can walk. For that body size, the speed is incredible. If basic is this fast, what about intermediate or advanced? With this speed plus reconnaissance, my recon efficiency multiplies several times once numbers grow, and I can stay home while ants scout the perimeter. I treat the sentry ant queen and her harem the way I did the hunting ants, drop the sandalwood beside them, and let them feed and breed simultaneously. After the sentry ants are settled, I decide to take another stroll for chests within 300 meters. The 300 to 500 ring stays off limits per Will's and Shonga's warnings. Half an hour later I have nothing. Either I picked the area clean already, or luck is dry today. As I reach the easternmost 300 mark and prepare to turn back, I freeze. A small tree under 2 meters tall stands ahead, hung with a dozen fist-sized red fruits, lush and tempting. Beneath it sits a wooden treasure chest. The catch, it is roughly 360 meters from the shelter in the mutated beast band. Charge or cower. My mind locks into the kind of standoff between heaven and man. A cold gust slices my cheeks. So cold. I had been cycling between ant work and chopping in a padded jacket and barely felt the chill, but the moment I stop the cold lands hard, and the panel is already below zero. Yesterday it was 5 degrees. The wind clears my head. Less than 7 days to the cold wave, and food and warm gear are nowhere near enough. Hesitation will erode the day one lead. Decision. Do it. 60 meters there and back, plus picking in chest. 3 minutes total. I do not rush in. I find a tall tree with good visibility and climb. From the high vantage I scan the area for 10 minutes. Will described mutated beasts as large, and a small area cannot hide one. I see nothing big, sigh in relief, climb down, pick up the bronze axe, and step into the unknown ground. Per the consensus on the channel, within 300 meters resources are basic, wood and stone, water if lucky, and beyond it resources are richer with naturally growing black iron and bronze items. But the danger climbed sharply. First time inside, a lie to say I am not nervous. The 60 meters takes nearly 2 minutes, no incident. I reach the small tree and start picking, stuffing 6 red fruits into my unbuttoned collar before my clothes bulge to capacity. I do not push. The tree is not running away. Right hand still gripping the axe, I scoop the wooden chest with my left arm and turn to run. The closer I get to the 300 line, the more I relax, already daydreaming about what is in the chest. Then a sound like wind through grass. Behind me, wind, on a still evening that has no breeze. And yet I do not feel any wind hitting my body. The dissonance lands a beat after my ears do, and reflexes catch up. I drop the chest, swing the axe up to block and pivot. A dark shape leaps at me. I block on reflex with both hands. A bang. Force surges up the haft and I retreat 5 steps before steadying. The attacker bounces back too. Squirrel, but standing 50 centimeters tall on its hind legs, bearing sharp fangs, red eyes blazing with bloodlust, completely unlike the timid creatures I know. Mutated squirrel, black iron rank, ability junior concealment, raises the success rate of hiding items and tracks, so this is a mutated beast, exactly Will's description. Despite my caution, a concealment using squirrel slipped past my scan from a tree or burrow. I cannot outrun it on this terrain, and the safe zone label is just a name I made up. Only an idiot trusts it. Fortunately, it is just a squirrel, and I have a weapon. The mutated squirrel pounces again instantly without giving me time to prepare. I count 3, 2, 1, now estimating its run and leap arc, and at the apex of its leap I bring the axe down with both hands across its head and neck, pressing the blade as if I am driving it into the ground. It cannot redirect mid-air and watches the blade close on it. In the same instant, with no path to dodge, it lashes out with its claws and rips 2 long gashes through my chest, tearing the cotton padding open. The blade lands. The squirrel crashes and rolls, wounded but not dead. I do not let myself think. Step in and chop again. Blood splatters and it goes still. I gasp, breathing hard, heart pounding. Adrenaline masked it, but as soon as the fight ends, a wave of fatigue hits my whole body sore as if beaten. First life or death fight, intense physical reaction makes sense, but I cannot stay. The blood smell may pull more dangerous creatures. I lift the squirrel onto the chest, tuck both under my arm, and stumble back toward the shelter. Only when I see the walls do I exhale, and the harvest in my collar finally puts a smile on my face. I close the door, sit on the floor, and sort. Mutated squirrel, ordinary squirrels weigh under a pound. This one is at least 6 pounds. After basic processing, internal organs and bones removed, I get 3 gene of meat, 1 squirrel hide, and 200 milliliters of blood. At market rate 80 units of wood, in a few minutes of fighting. Hunting mutated beasts pays far better than chopping. But I push the get-rich daydream off. The danger is on another level, and a clean fight today does not generalize. Mutated creatures may carry pathogens. Even a small wound at a vulnerable spot like the neck could kill. The squirrel meat goes on the menu tonight, the blood goes to the hunting ants as a bonus, and the hide gets repurposed as a scarf or gloves. Then I open the chest. Rye bread, buckwheat pillow, and a third item, another manufacturing blueprint. I never expected a black iron chest to drop a blueprint, and rye bread plus a buckwheat pillow already had me content. The third item is a familiar cowhide scroll, and I recognize it instantly. Wooden fence, black iron rank, pointed top wooden fence, may catch the careless climber by the crotch, encloses a shelter to reduce the probability of dark world creatures visiting. Manufacturing cost, 1 unit of wood per piece, 3 minutes per piece. Excellent. Shelter safety is hard currency, and the raw material is the most plentiful one. Buckets are good now, but everyone will have buckets soon, and within a day or two, the price performance crashes. Rare resources I cannot spare for trade. I was wondering how to keep earning, and the assistant answered. I use the blueprint on the spot. I do not start crafting fences yet. I lay out the 6 red fruits on the floor. Red heart fruit, bronze grade, can be used to increase physique and quickly recover from muscle damage. Bronze grade with permanent physique buff and muscle repair. The fruits are heart-shaped, hence the name. Right after a day of chopping in a life or death fight, my muscles are aching everywhere, and the timing could not be better. I wipe one on my sleeve and bite. The juice is sweet and rich, and the body finishes the fruit before the mind can savor it. Only 3 melon seed-sized seeds remain. As expected of bronze grade, Taste alone is past every fruit I have ever eaten. Then a warm current spreads through my body and the soreness fades. Within 10 minutes, I feel fully recovered, muscle fibers thicker than before. I want a second fruit immediately and force myself to stop. The fruit's ideal usage is post-strenuous exertion when fibers are torn. With only 6 on hand, casual eating is wasteful. I wonder if Cheongha can cultivate them in bulk. If so, red heart fruit freedom may be on the table. After that fruit, I almost feel anticipation about this dark world. Dangerous, yes, but full of possibilities. I DM Cheongha the fruit's information and ask if she can cultivate it. She replies almost instantly, excited. Bronze-grade fruit, physique plus quick recovery, she can cultivate, but the higher the rarity, the lower the cultivation success rate. So she will need more seeds and ideally a branch from the mother tree. She is a true plant fanatic. No wonder she committed to that path. I tell her I found this in the newly unlocked area, that there is one tree with over 10 fruits left, and that I encountered a mutated squirrel earlier and bled around there, so I cannot return today. She is alarmed. I fought a mutated creature. Am I injured? Treat it now if so. Lucky, no injury. I tell her. Good, she says. The dark world is harsh, and she does not have healing plants yet. By the way, squirrels are hoarding experts. The den must have a stash of food. Scout it when safe. I was so focused on running I forgot squirrel habits. Without her reminder I would have missed it. I thank her and ask her to try the cultivation. I trade 3 red heart fruit seeds and 1 fruit to her, refusing the resources she offers in return. She gave me sentry ants for free, and this evens it out. On her side, Cheongha looks at the heart-shaped fruit and shakes her head with a wry smile, deciding she should pay attention to ant-related items now, or she will keep owing favors, and noting she should ask Baekhyun, who likely has relevant intel. After the conversation, 3.5 hours of daytime remain. The new ground is tempting, but the mutated squirrel was an early warning. Meeting a carnivorous mutated beast at my current strength means dinner for it. I switch to fences. I make one and use its size to estimate. Enclosing a decent area takes at least 100 fences, plus 5 hours of crafting time, which is too steep. I scale to 30 or 40 fences for a smaller perimeter, finishable before dark. I have 38 wood on hand. Enough. I head to the woodpile by the birch grove and start crafting in place. 2 hours later, after the red heart fruit's repair work, I am full of energy and craft non-stop. A pile of fences accumulates. I stand back satisfied, then carry several to the shelter and use the bronze axe as both shovel and hammer to drive them into the frozen ground. The ground is rock hard from the cold, and installation eats real effort. By the time the fences are all in, the sky has gone fully dark. 31 minutes of daytime left. Outdoor temperature is -10, and standing still after sweat builds is painfully cold. I duck inside. The night is bearing down, and I have used up my energy. The stove kindling has burned out, and as I reach for fresh wood I realize I used every unit on the fences. Rather than panicking out into the cold, I decompose the black iron chest from earlier and get 5 units of wood. The storage box is fine. Anything more would crowd. I throw one in the stove, light it, and start crafting more fences. I tentatively list a single fence on the trade channel at 5 units of wood per piece. Net 4 wood in 3 minutes is far better than buckets, which are now 10 wood per piece for 10 minutes of work. I make 2 more fences, but the listing is not sold. Too high, or fewer eyes on the channel right now. I drop to 4 wood per piece and the fence sells fast, with messages flooding asking if I have more. I tell everyone to wait and continue crafting. 4 wood per fence net of 1 wood cost equals 1 wood per minute. Much better than chopping directly. Night closes. Weather strong winds, cloudy. Outdoor -14.1 degrees, indoor 8.1 degrees, night remaining 16 hours. 30 minutes, outdoor temperature has dropped several more degrees and the indoor temperature, even with the upgrade in the stove, has not crossed 10 degrees. A few more days and indoors may slip below 0. Cold wave has not even started and the slope is this steep. I have to push level 3 urgently or the cold wave will end me. I had planned to spend resources on combat first, but priorities flip. As I reach to keep crafting, I notice no world announcement today. The voice has been the rhythm marker of every day since I arrived, and the silence on day 2 is unsettling in its own right. Without settlement and without temporary missions, the system has shifted from carrot-driven to pure survival pressure. Sure enough, the chat is already buzzing about it. What's going on? Where is settlement? I worked all day. Why no rewards? Maybe settlement and temporary missions only happened on day 1. Holy crap. Without those, on chopping and digging alone, we are doomed during the cold wave. Not entirely. You can find chests. A few a day means a comfortable cold wave. If chests were that easy, nobody would chop trees. If chests are hard, hunt mutated beasts. Meat is high-cost performance. I do not believe you, you old geezer. You are too cunning. If I had not seen a mutated goat snap a tree, I would have believed it. So no settlement today. Even without it, the day 1 rewards motivated everyone hard, and most people probably hit level 2 today. I close the channel. I check on the queens. The black scythe hunter ant queen is at 51%, and the sentry ant queen has rocketed to 76%. Both were on bronze grade food, so why the gap? Growth speed likely correlates inversely with potential ceiling. The sentry ant has only bronze potential, a lower ceiling so it climbs faster. The black scythe hunter ant queen has silver potential, a higher ceiling and climbs slower. 16.5 hours of night ahead means both can finish tonight at this rate, given enough food. I have plenty of bronze boar meat and sandalwood wood, so I let them eat and tell them to hurry. They eat faster. Then the nursery. The multi-ear winter wheat is so dense the ears press against each other. What I planted with a wide gap has filled the trays. 10 kilograms looks plausible from 100 seeds, and harvest is hours away. The ripening agent is unreasonably potent. Cheong's plant work is something else. Food worry is dimming a little. As I plan to ask her for more seeds, she pings first. Jang-hyun, your ability is ant-related, right? Look at this. Item info attached. I scan and my pupils dilate. Ant nest nucleus. Ant nest nucleus. Bronze grade. Placed in the ant nest. Raises the queen's breeding speed by 20% and increases food consumption by 30%. Ants in the nest gradually gain various attribute increases. Bronze in name, divine artifact in effect. The description hides the upside. This is exactly the kind of niche item that becomes overpowered in the right hands and worthless in the wrong ones, which is why it ended up at the bottom of someone's chest in the first place. 20% breeding speed alone is impressive enough. Extra ants per night with no extra resource per ant, but stacked with rapid reproduction and production expansion when the queens hit bronze. The math compounds. The 30% food consumption looked at first glance like a tax, but mutation success rate is fed by food consumption, so a 30% food increase becomes a 30% mutation acceleration. Even the slow attribute buff is the kind of thing that quietly raises a colony over days. Half the items I rejected in the trade channel had narrower descriptions than this and 10 times the asking price. 20% breeding speed compounds horribly in my favor, since ants win on numbers. The 30% food consumption looks like a downside, but for me, it is upside. Eating drives mutation rate. More food means faster mutation. The slow attribute buff is a bonus. I cannot keep my poker face and tell Seongha this is very useful, and offer to trade more spring water as compensation, since after a day I have another 100 milliliters accumulated and do not need it all. She replies that it is fine. She traded for it from an acquaintance who said ants were too weak and nobody used them, so the item had been bottom of the box and went cheap. She offers to introduce us if there is a chance. A bit erratic, but trustworthy. Hearing ants are looked down upon, I do not know whether to laugh or cry. It tracks. Even I, with all the relevant skills and items, have not produced anything visible from ants yet, and the consumption has been heavy. People without those skill items would be madmen to invest in ants. Better that everyone underestimates them. Cheaper to scoop up ant-related items at low cost. Sensing my silence, Seongha gently encourages me. The dark world holds infinite possibilities. Focus resources on one path and persevere, no matter the path it works. I tell her I am not giving up. I have a premonition that an explosion of strength is near. I thank her and start the trade. I put up 50 milliliters of mutated spring water and receive the ant nest nucleus, 100 multi-year winter wheat seeds, and 3 bottles of ripening agent. She protests I am giving too much, but I insist. Tomorrow during the day I will try the squirrel den and the red heart fruit tree. I will contact her after I have plant seeds. Done, she says, and she will keep an eye out for ant items. The trade leaves both of us better off. She gets a reliable spring water pipeline for her plant work. I get a reliable food and seed pipeline plus a niche item scout, and the favors balance over time. Cooperation in this dark world is hard to start because no party has reached to enforce a deal, so each transaction also doubles as a character probe. After 2 days of trades, my read on her is steady. Her read on me, judging by her continued generosity, is also steady. I look at the nucleus. Black, peach pit size, rough surface, irregular. The description says place in an ant nest, so the question is where to build the nest. Underground is logical, but outside is monster country. Inside the shelter with fences up is safer. I pick a spot near the spring water source. Tell the hunting ants and sentry ants to stop eating and dig a nest. Sentry ants for speed, hunting ants for power. Under 10 minutes a decent ant nest is dug. Better still, since both species are tamed by me, they share a single nest, which never happens in nature. Both groups benefit from the nucleus simultaneously. I drop the nucleus in and have everyone move in. Eating speeds visibly increase, and so do mutation rates. The sentry ant queen, already high, looks like she will finish in minutes. I hold off on letting the queens breed yet, because babies inherit queen quality, and if she breeds at black iron the new ants are black iron, and upgrading them later costs heavy resources and precious spring water. Push the queen to bronze first, then her babies are bronze. The sentry ant ceiling is bronze, so once she hits bronze she breeds at full power. The black scythe hunter ant queen needs more thought. If her rate climb stalls badly after bronze, an early breeding wave might be necessary, since the sentry ants are scouts not soldiers, and after the mutated squirrel, I want some bodyguards. A signal pings through the species contract. The sentry ant queen and her 10 harem ants all hit 100% simultaneously. I send them to drink spring water. Bronze evolution looks harder than black iron. 5 tense minutes, but no fatalities. Sentry Ant Queen, bronze grade. Type breeding. Potential bronze grade. Reached its limit. Can be broken with special items or skills. Abilities rapid reproduction, production expansion. Sentry Ant, bronze grade. Type reconnaissance. Potential bronze grade. Reached its limit. Can be broken with special items or skills. Abilities basic agility, beginner detection. The queen's abdomen has grown. 3 pairs of compound eyes have become 4. The helmet is darker and shinier, antennae longer. The workers are pinky finger size now. Neat little soldiers. Production expansion increases breeding quantity, stacking with rapid reproduction. The army builds fast. Beginner detection on the workers. Given how strong basic agility was, even beginner detection should be serious. 1 sentry ants increase. Every chest in my territory gets swept clean. I order the queen and her harem into the nest to breed. Right as I settle them, the black scythe hunting ant signal pings. The hunter ant queen is also at 100%. Let us go. The black scythe hunter ant queen and her 8 hunting ants drink spring water and replicate the sentry ant's route, but their evolution takes a full 10 minutes for the larger bodies. When they emerge into bronze grade, I am stunned. The thumb-sized hunting ants have grown more than 10 times, fist-sized, jet-black carapace looking ridiculously sturdy, mandibles longer than their bodies, like 2 massive scythes. 1 bite would unsettle a leg, and I am glad they are mine. The queen's body and abdomen grew several sizes and her mandibles are smaller than the workers. The hunter ant queen also picked up production expansion. The workers picked up junior fortification. I tap a hunting ant's shell, like metal. I step on it lightly, no reaction. Defensive output combined with the scythe attacks. At scale, mutated beasts will not survive. Excited, I have the queen finish the rest of the boar meat to push towards silver. She inhales it, 3 tails gone in a few bites. Then I check the rate, plus 1%. 3 tails of bronze meat is worth roughly 12 units of wood, which means raising her 100% on bronze meat alone would cost 1,200 units of wood. The bronze to silver gap is brutal. Bitter smile, fine, take it slow. Bronze hunting ants are already enough. Build a bronze hunting ant army first. Push queen to silver later. I send her into the nest to breed too. They expand it before starting because the original is too small. Now logistics. Sentry ants eat plants, even wood, so the supply line is essentially the same as my fuel pile. Hunting ants eat meat, and I do not have much. Meat is also expensive on the channel and unreliable in supply, since most survivors do not have the strength to hunt mutated beasts and the few who do, like Will, list small portions. I throw the mutated squirrel meat I had set aside for myself into the ant nest for the hunter queen, and dinner becomes the rye bread from the chest, choked down with water. Bear with it for now. Once the hunting ant army actually exists at scale, meat will be at every meal of every day. Through the nest entrance I see plump white eggs already, which lifts the mood, but the food beside the queens is dropping fast. If food runs out, no more eggs. I take out wood and grind on fences. 7 hours later, I am collapsed spread-eagled on the bed. My physical limit hit hours back. A red heart fruit reset my muscles, and I kept going, but spiritual power has no fruit fix, and that depletion hurts worse than soreness. Several times worse. I need items that restore spiritual power. In 7 hours, I made 130 fences, only 10 short of theoretical maximum. Fences are popular and all sold at 4 wood each, netting 3 wood per fence on top of the 1 wood cost. 390 units of wood total. The nest's food is almost gone. I DM Will, do you still have meat? In a corner of the dark world, in a wooden house adorned with hides, a burly 2-meter white man with long golden hair and a bushy beard is tanning leather. He frowns at the manual buzz, finishes the step, wipes his hands, and reads. Customer who buys meat. Anyone who keeps buying meat at this stage must be strong. He likes both strong people and customers. Will, of course. How much? I had thought he was asleep and was about to look elsewhere. 5 gin of bronze grade. Can you discount? 5 gin in one go. Most people buy in tails. So Will smiles and offers 5 gin of bronze grade for 190 wood, with 5 bottles of beast blood as a gift. Done. After the trade, Will pulls his manual back open and DMs someone else. Ryonggu. I just traded another 190 wood. With that you should have enough to upgrade level 3. So Will is also networked, also moving wood toward an ally pushing for the next shelter tier. I do not see this. If I did, I would be shaken. Someone is already stacking for level 3. In a tight alliance, I am barely thinking. I throw the 5 gene into the nest, drop the sandalwood wood in 2, and crash. Some unknown time later the broadcast cuts in. Dark World announcement. Congratulations survivors. You have survived another night. The cold wave will arrive in 6 days. A temporary mission will now be issued. Temporary mission again. I sit up and the broadcast continues. 3 temporary chests will be randomly generated in the bright areas of every survivor's shelter. Picking and opening grants items. Once 5,000 chests are opened in an area, all remaining temporary chests vanish. Top 100 regional rankings by quantity and speed earn 1 self-selected item of varying quality, scaling on rank. I crunch numbers. 10,000 per region. 3 chests per shelter means 30,000 chests total. capped at 5,000 cleared, so on average less than one chest per person. The higher the shelter level, the larger the bright area and the harder to find randomly placed chests, and level 2 and above have mutated beasts that further raise difficulty and risk. Survivors still on level 1 may actually have an edge. Chat goes feral. Finally, top 100 this time. No way, I just upgraded last night, are you messing with me? Do not panic, day 3, almost everyone has upgraded. If only I had not lacked resources, top 100 would be mine. These chests are not easy to find, learn from the past few days. Mutated beasts are dangerous, many will die in this mission. Just chop trees and let me take the rewards. Bah, shameless. Charge brother still in the channel, more than I thought, and 1,000 or 800 of them in any region adds up. Speed matters. I do not panic, I have specialists. I walk to the nest entrance. I look down and only see darkness, no clear count. The hunting ants have dug deeper overnight. I order the queens to bring everyone up. Sentry ants stream out, about 150 by my rough count, and black scythe hunting ants follow, only 23. Sentry ants are small and many, hunting ants are large and few, which fits. The queens signal me through species contract. More eggs and weaker juveniles are still in the nest and need a few hours to mature. I leave the queens to mind the nursery and head out with all the workers. Outside freezing. The moment I step out the door, I shiver violently. Hurry to tighten my coat, rub my hands, and stop my feet as I check the weather panel. Weather light snow. Outdoor minus 9.5. Indoor 14.2. Daytime remaining 6 hours. 55 minutes. 12 seconds. The shelter delay cost half an hour, and I now have exactly 7 hours. Snowflakes the size of 50-cent coins drift down. Soon a thick layer will sit on everything. Snow further hides chests. I check the chat. Snow is falling near other shelters too, which equalizes the field. Sentry ants and hunting ants are unbothered by the cold. I split the sentry ants into 8 squads of about 20 each, 1 per direction. East, south, west, north, northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest, with orders to net search for chests and report mutated beasts. Their main job is the chests. The secondary job is intelligence on mutated beasts roaming the territory ring. After the black iron evolution, they could keep up with my walk. After bronze, they match my run. The 8 squads scatter and vanish in seconds. 23 bronze hunting ants at my feet, fist-sized each, look intimidating en masse. Comfort. If I meet another mutated squirrel today, I do not lift a finger. I do not know how many beasts hide around the shelter, so I will wait until the sentry ants have reported. Then visit the red heart fruit tree in the squirrel cache. I send the hunting ants out too with orders to follow the sentry ants and carry back any chest. As an afterthought, I tell 2 hunting ants to stay near me as bodyguards. After the mutated squirrel, I do not walk anywhere outside without backup. I head back inside to harvest the wheat. Snow is now thick enough to muffle the sound of my own footfalls. The world feels smaller than it is. The multi-ear winter wheat is fully ripe overnight, golden across the trays. I try the bronze axe, but the cramped space and tough stalks defeat me. The axe is too heavy and blunt for cutting. Should I buy scissors or a sickle? As I think, a young black scythe hunting ant peeks from the nest entrance, mandibles shaped like scythes. How could I forget? I send the queen a command and 13 young hunting ants emerge. Climb the trays and cut the wheat like combine harvesters. Under 3 minutes, all harvested. I take out the new 100 seeds Chongha sent and prepare to sow when a thump-thump from outside hits along with the hunting ant signal. Chests. I rush out. 2 walking chests are running across the snow, carried by hunting ants. In barely a dozen minutes, 2 found. The hunting ants drop the chests at my feet without ceremony, then turn and head back out to support the sentry ants. No rest needed. A grateful thought lands and passes. Gratitude does not register on ant brains, but the species contract registers something close to acknowledgement, and that is enough. Even if I were given double or triple the time, finding a chest myself would be a struggle. Professionalism. The first chest is black iron, the second bronze. Temporary chests have the same drop tables and visuals, as regular chests have the same drop tables. I open both. Black iron yields long cotton socks, a bottle of water, and a black iron pickaxe. Bronze yields white bread, a black iron machete, a box of 666 cold granules, and a bronze-grade blueprint. Every item is useful. Cotton socks for the cold, a water bottle, a black iron pickaxe to finally start mining stone, a piece of white bread that is real bread instead of brick rye, and a black iron machete that is sharper than swinging the axe at flesh. The 6-6 cold granules are life-saving in the coming wave. Even on Blue Star, a cold could escalate, and here a cold without medicine is potentially fatal. The blueprint is the shocker. Quick hemostatic bandage, bronze grade, wrap on a wound for fast hemostasis. Crafting cost. Plant fiber, adhesive, coagulation serum. Even on Earth, blood loss is a top cause of casualty, and here it is fatal. A producible bandage is hard currency. The materials are uncertain, only plant fiber looks easy, and adhesive and coagulation serum will need digging. I will ask Chungha and Will after the mission, or hit the trade channel. I use the blueprint, move the rest into the shelter, and and have 10 hunting ants help loosen soil, sow the new seeds, and shell the harvested wheat. They have no complex emotions and excellent stamina. If they did, they would curse me as a capitalist. 10 adult and 13 young hunting ants finish soil, sowing, and shelling in under 10 minutes. Extreme efficiency. Wheat total roughly 10 kilograms. Matches my estimate. I sack it into an empty bucket. An idea. If I lend hunting ants out to others, will they still answer me? Or does Eye of Taming and Species contract require physical proximity? If they answer regardless, I can run a labor dispatch service with hunting ants for farm work, harvest assistance, recon by rental, all at far better margins than buckets or fences, and at zero risk of being undercut, since nobody else has tamed hunting ants. Chianga alone is a major customer, since my multi-ear winter wheat seeds came from her and I have no idea how much she has planted. If her field is anywhere near my crop's density, manual harvest would eat her entire daytime for days. I will verify the contract distance when I have time, but it is something to remember. 10 kilos is enough for me alone for over a month. But I am not alone. The whole ant gang eats too. Cold wave is close, food storage is the priority, and ant numbers have to be controlled, especially hunting ants who eat meat. Cap the hunting ants at 50 for now and replace losses. Sentry ants are small and plant-based, so cap at 1,000 for now. Territory expansion will produce more recon work. The sentry ant ceiling will get raised as shelter levels open more ground. The hunting ant ceiling stays low until I have a stable meat pipeline beyond what the hunter queen requires for her own breeding. After a stable food source, the ant army can grow without strangling itself. The principle is the same as for me. Specialize, do not bloat, and never run a colony past what the food chain supports. Another dozen minutes pass. The third chest still has not been found, and I had 2 in under 10. Anxiety climbs. I keep crafting fences while waiting. 20 minutes later, the sentry ant signal pings and I jump up, and immediately the next signal hits and freezes the smile. Mutated beast spotted. Last chest is nearby. I grab the new black iron machete, take 10 adult hunting ants and run southeast. After 5 fast minutes, I stop about 400 meters from the shelter. 40 sentry ants are scattered close by. Without ant sense, I would never spot them. And the 13 remaining hunting ants are also nearby. Producing each hunting ant is expensive, so seeing 0 losses is a relief. 50 meters ahead is an earthen mound over 6 meters tall. A 2-meter cave entrance carved in the center. A massive mutated wild boar sleeps at the cave mouth. The last chest sits under its head as a pillow. Mutated wild boar. Bronze grade. Abilities. Charged thick skin and flesh. Even lying down, the boar is a meter tall. Standing, it is 1.5 meters and at least 300 kilograms, with 30-centimeter tusks like daggers. 2 abilities, both clearly hard to deal with. Hunting ants can take small mutated beasts, but a bronze boar with thick skin is rough. Even winning would burn ants. But the boar is on the chest, and without it the mission slips. I DM Will, since he sells bronze boar meat and must have killed one. He does not reply, probably also doing the mission. I have to think for myself. Killing it is not the goal. The chest is. Lured away. Hunting ants cause damage but are slow and big target. Bad lure. Sentry ants are fast and many and replaceable. Good lure. Question is whether sentry ants can anger and lure a wild boar at all. Their stings may not break thick skin enough to register, and the boar may simply ignore them. But sentry ants can swarm into nostrils, ears, and eye corners where thick skin is irrelevant, and even a beast can be driven crazy by enough small bites in tender places. I have to try. I order 40 sentry ants to harass the boar collectively, and 10 hunting ants to hide in a tree nearby ready to act. When the boar leaves, they go in and grab the chest. I leave the area fast. I am too large a target to stand here, and a charge from the boar would be the end. As I clear 100 meters, an angry roar erupts behind me, ground shaking with thump thump thump. Plan succeeded, half the win is provoking. The rest is luring far enough for the hunting ants to steal. I jog back to the shelter. Outside is so cold that standing still stiffens limbs in minutes, and only inside the shelter do I thaw. I keep crafting fences to distract myself. 1, 2, 3, and the hunting ant signal pings. I rush out. A hunting ant is trundling toward me, carrying the chest across snow. I take it. Black iron temporary chest. Disappointing on rarity, but ranking is by count and speed, not rarity. I open it. 3 items spill out before I can look. A familiar broadcast cuts in. Survivor, congratulations on finding 3 temporary chests deployed in your territory in 49 minutes. 53 seconds. Temporary mission. Treasure chest scramble complete. Your count and speed rank first in the area. Reward, 1 self-selected gold rank item. A small golden box drops into my hand. I have only encountered a few silver rank items so far, each abnormally strong. Gold should be more so. As I prepare to open it, the broadcast fires again. The total temporary chests collected in this area has reached 5,000. All remaining uncollected temporary chests have disappeared. Mission ended. Wait, I just opened my 3rd and the mission is over. So in my entire region, no other survivor found 3. Are these chests really that hard? For level 2 and above survivors, larger territory plus mutated beasts makes sense. But level 1 survivors with 300-meter ranges and no mutated beasts should have managed 3. Too weak. For sentry ants, the chests are easy. Without the boar pillow, I would have wrapped in 20 minutes. I was tense and the field could not see my taillights. The chat is wailing at the abrupt end. Already over, I only found 1. The hiding spots are insane. 1 was on my shelter roof. Mine was buried with 1 corner exposed. I thought it was a welfare event and got nothing in an hour. Probably nobody found all 3. If someone did, I will wash my hair standing on my head. So the chests were placed in anti-human spots, and the snowfall further obscured them. Other survivors search by sight. My sentry ants do not. No matter how hidden, if it is in territory, no problem. Without the sentry ants, I would have found 1 at most and missed top 100 easily, let alone first. The chat keeps rolling. Surely no one could have found all 3. Probably not. Only 1 hour total. If someone really did 3, I will wash my hair standing on my head. That kind of bravado that masks suspicion. I do not advertise my result. The hidden first place is exactly the place I want to be. The kind of nail that does not stick out and does not get hammered. The sentry ants got the credit silently, and I get to keep my edge for the next round. I look at the squad with gratitude and then pain. The team that lured the boar, 10 hunting ants and 40 sentry ants, returned with 10 hunting ants and 12 sentry ants. 28 sentry ants dead. Of the survivors, almost all are wounded, missing antennae, broken legs. Ants have no minds and only follow orders, but they are mine and they earned this win. 28 sentry ants died trampled by a sleeping animal. The survivors are walking with broken legs and missing antennae. I am supposed to be the one who chose this path, and they are the ones bleeding for it. The boar will not see another sunset. I sentence it silently and turn to the items. A bottle of water, a piece of pig iron, a pair of knitted gloves. I put on the gloves and warmth pools back into my hands. I drink some water, pick up the pig iron, and head inside with the ants. I warm up, then open the gold gift package. I hope for combat power. The boar exposed me. As shelter level rises, mutated beasts get worse, and so does the territory I cannot avoid stepping into. Combat power has to come from somewhere, and ants can only carry so much weight on their own without an upgrade. I unwrap the gold gift box. A golden flash. 3 items in the air, each rotating slowly in the air for me to pick from. Pursuit longbow, gold rank. Arrows gain auto-correction within 10%. Detection telescope, gold rank. Sees through darkness, observes scenes beyond 500 meters. Gene manipulator, gold rank. Extracts gene fragments from biological flesh and integrates them into other organisms, granting characteristics. Each effect is abnormal. Pursuit longbow makes a novice lethal at archery, in which man does not dream of perfect aim, but I have no arrows, and a cold weapon scales on raw strength I do not have. Skip. Detection telescope is excellent, but my recon is run by sentry ants who do not need vision. Once the territory is mapped, I can send them past 500 meters anyway, and I am not going to walk into the dark world personally regardless. Skip. That leaves gene manipulator. It extracts and implants genes. I see uses immediately, and they branch in every direction. Mutated beast genes into hunting ants for bigger and stronger versions. Avian genes into sentry ants for flying scouts that scale walls and treetops nothing on the ground can reach. Boar, tiger, brown bear genes into hunting ants for raw power. Aquatic genes into sentry ants for water reconnaissance whenever rivers come into play. Spider venom genes into sentry ant queens, if I can figure out the implantation order. Combined with ant reproduction, the upside is immeasurable. If a hunter queen breeds hunting ants, and I gene fuse them off the production line, the army's specialization can be tuned per ant rather than per species. Choose. I pick the gene manipulator. The 3 orbs vanish and a microscope-like instrument appears. I take Will's bottle of mutated wild boar blood and figure out the operation in a few minutes. The interface is simple. Place flesh on the platform and it auto-separates gene fragments at a ratio that depends on the donor material's quality. 1 bottle of boar blood yields 5 gene fragments. Then place the recipient creature on the platform to implant. I select a hunting ant. 5 minutes and its body twists violently and I feel a signal. Energy, energy, energy. The panel, black scythe hunting ant, bronze grade mutated wild boar gene fusion in progress, requires intake of flesh or plants to complete fusion. The fusion gave it omnivory. It can eat plants now to finish. I do not have meat ready, so I send it outside to graze. It charges a small white birch tree, opens its sides, and chews the entire tree down in 10 minutes. The ant then changes drastically. Fist-sized to small piglet-sized, hundreds of times bigger, with thick bristles all over. No one would call this an ant. Half-meter scythe mandibles. Ferocious. The gene manipulator straight up upgrades my ants. Updated panel. Black scythe hunting ant. Bronze grade. Fused genes. Mutated wild boar. Currently 0 gene fusions possible. Can fuse 1 more upon reaching silver rank. So below bronze ants fuse 1 gene. After silver they can fuse 2. Silver is a strength leap. Pushing the hunter queen to silver becomes more urgent. A survival manual notification pings. Will, how to kill a mutated wild boar, did you encounter one? He warns even he does not confront one head on. He used poisoned arrows to wear it down. If I had picked the pursuit longbow, that path would have been mine. Now I have a better option. The gene-fused hunting ant. Same volume, ants are nearly invincible. Just to be safe, I fuse more. Half an hour later, 20 gene-modified hunting ants stand in front of me. Too big for the shelter, so I plan to dig an outdoor nest later. First the boar. I do not let grudges sleep overnight when strength permits. Killing the boar gets revenge for the 28th century ants it crushed, plus several hundred gin of meat, gene fragments for more hunting ant upgrades, and bulk food for the hunter queen, which between bronze meat at scale and the nucleus food bonus could push her to 100% in silver in one shot. At silver, she breeds silver-grade hunting ants directly. My entire combat ceiling rises, and silver mutated beasts start to look survivable. The boar dying tonight is not just emotional payoff, it is the next gate. I take the 20 hunting ants and head for the boar's lair. 460 meters from my shelter. In a cave, the mutated wild boar is gnawing a sweet potato, in a foul mood after being woken by ants and chasing some down to crush. Still grumpy, it dug up a sweet potato. Now it sees dark figures approaching. Mutated boars are still bad-sighted, but the trespass on its meal is enough. Eyes red, snorting, it charges. The arriving party is 20 modified hunting ants. The boar gets a few howls before being literally torn to shreds. Only a pool of blood and flesh remains. I watch from 100 meters. I had been worrying about losses, and instead the boar is gone in a flash. Not ants, war machines. A new sense of security wells up. Yesterday I was crawling away from a mutated squirrel with 2 gashes through my padded jacket. Today 20 modified hunting ants reduce a 300-kilogram bronze beast to pulp in a flash. The shape of my survival has changed in 2 days, and the engine of that change is the Eye of Taming, the species contract, the mutated spring water, and now the gene manipulator stacking together. None of them by themselves would matter. Together they move the floor. The 300-kilogram corpse will draw monsters at night, so I butcher on the spot rather than dragging it back. Even at half meat yield, that is 300 gin of bronze boar meat. Meat prices have dropped because more hunters kill beasts, but bronze boar meat is still about 30 wood per gin. 300 gin equals 9,000 wood. With other materials, killing one boar is roughly 10,000 wood. 20 hunting ants act as 20 professional butchers and finish in minutes. Then my smile fades. This meat yield is wrong. Where is the meat? I have only 30 gin of boar meat, 1 gin of pig blood, 1 hide, a pair of 30-centimeter tusks like daggers, and 20-some gin of various offal. Combined, well under 100 gin. The other 500-plus gin is missing. I pick through the offal with the black iron machete and find a red walnut-sized orb. Beast core, bronze grade, the condensed essence of a mutated creature's life, generated by bronze grade or higher mutated creatures. So the missing weight became this core. No wonder meat prices are this high. There is not much meat to begin with. Contentment brings happiness. The 10,000 wood jackpot is a fantasy. The remaining materials are still worth at least 1,000 wood, more than enough to upgrade to level 3. The beast core itself is a bronze sustainable item by description, and even though I do not yet know what to do with it, anything condensed from a mutated creature's life energy is worth holding rather than selling, especially with the Hunter Queen still climbing towards silver. Boar tusks at 30 centimeters can plausibly be sharpened into stabbing weapons or traded. The hide is winter-grade material. The offal goes straight to the Hunter Queen as fuel. The 30 gin of muscle meat I keep partly for myself and partly to feed the next breeding wave. Nothing is wasted. Upgrading level 3 requires 500 wood and 100 stone. I currently have around 200 wood, leaving a deficit of 300 wood and 100 stone. As more chests have produced pickaxes of various rarities and a few survivors found pick blueprints, stone mining has scaled up. The wood to stone exchange rate has dropped to about 1 to 2. Bronze meat is around 30 wood per gin, so 20 gin would more than cover the upgrade. But I am also short on meat, and unless I have to, I will not sell. Plenty of daytime left. Explore the territory ring first. Settle the deficit at night with a meat sale if necessary. I have the hunting ants carry the boar harvest back, including the offal in a bucket, since the Hunter Queen will eat anything fleshy, and that saves resources. An hour later, with the sentry ants, I have swept the entire 500-meter ring, this time with explicit orders to find mutated beasts and unusual plants. 4 black iron mutated rabbits were found, and the combat squad dispatched them quickly. 25 gin of black iron rabbit meat, 2 gin of rabbit blood, 4 hides. Black iron does not produce beast cores, so meat yield is much higher. 4 rabbits roughly equal a wild boar in meat. The sentry ants also found several sweet potato sprouts where the boar's old lair was, fully matured, about 20 gin total. All carried back. I had the sentry ants thoroughly sweep the squirrel area, 7 different burrows, 15 gin of nuts and seeds in total. I also picked the remaining 8 red heart fruits and broke off a branch from the mother tree for Chungha. I DM her with the harvest. She replies instantly. Great, she really needs these. By the way, has my shelter upgraded to level 3? Not yet, still short on resources. She does not reply with words. She opens a trade and lists 300 units of wood. I stare at the trade window. To casually push 300 wood across a long-distance link, she has to already be at level 3 with a comfortable surplus. She follows up with a careful warning. After level 3, the territory expands to a 2,000-meter radius, and silver mutated beasts may appear in the new ground. They are very independent and may not stay in one place with strength far above bronze mutated beasts. She underlines the words may not stay in one place, because that is the part that matters. Bronze beasts had territories I could map and avoid. Silver beasts roam, which means tomorrow's safe path could be tonight's death zone. 2,000 meters is a huge territory. Going from a 500-meter ring to a 2,000-meter ring is a jump from roughly 78 hectares of accessible ground to roughly 1,250 hectares, more than 15 times the previous coverage. Sentry ant patrols at this scale require either far more sentry ants or smarter pathing, and the sentry ant queen's production expansion ability suddenly looks indispensable. Roaming silver beasts inside that area are bad news for the same reason a bronze boar was bad news in a smaller ring. They do not stay put, and territory edges become moving targets. My modified hunting ants are bronze with one fused gene. I do not yet know if they can fight silver. The information matters and concerns my safety. I have countermeasures though. Sentry ant border patrols give early warning at the territory edge, and a chain of sentry ants along the perimeter can be tasked to scout and flee on the first whiff of a silver mutated beast. The hunter queen pushing to silver soon will let her breed silver hunting ants directly, which short-circuits the resource bleed of upgrading individual bronze hunting ants one at a time. Border early warning plus a reactive silver army equals a defensible posture even before I have hunted my first silver mutated beast. I thank her, close the manual, and tell the hunting ants to chop trees. I had wanted them to chop earlier, but they were too small and inefficient. After the boar gene fusion, the problem is gone. Curious how many trees they take down in the remaining hours, I head into the shelter and dump the boar offal and rabbit meat into the hunter queen's nest to keep her rate climbing while I craft fences. The new hunter queen rate, with the nucleus's 30% food consumption boost stacked on top of organ-grade meat, climbs visibly inside the manual panel. Every 10 minutes I peek and the percentage has crawled another 2 or 3 points. Nucleus, organ feed, and a queen with potential ceiling at silver. Every input is now compounding. Meanwhile, in a corner of the dark world, beneath a giant tree wide enough that more than a dozen people would need to encircle it, a 1,000-square-meter field stretches around the base. Half is golden multi-year winter wheat, fully mature but unharvested, simply left in the soil. Survivors elsewhere would vomit blood at the sight. The other half is strange-shaped plants, some barely recognizable, some wholly new species. A graceful figure bends over the soil, sowing seeds, hands and feet muddy and unbothered. Xiongha. She straightens after the bag empties and wipes her forehead with the back of her hand. She murmurs, "Phew, finally planted. Hope luck is better this time, and more plants mutate. That way Little Green can collect more gene fragments and grow stronger." The giant tree's leaves rustle without wind, answering her. She continues, "Do not worry, Little Green. I will work hard to collect different plants to help you reforge the glory of the Casimir World Tree." She stumbles on the long name and the leaves rustle louder until she gets it right, then quieter and satisfied. A world tree, indeed, like a childish ghost. She glances at the wheat field. With this much ripe wheat, harvesting it alone would burn an entire daytime, if Little Green could help her. But Little Green expends serious energy in active labor and must conserve to guard against the silver black bear to the northwest. She returns to her shelter on a tree branch up to 30 meters above the ground. From a bronze chest, she takes a golden scroll. Mutual aid contract, gold rank. Select a target, establish a mutual aid contract. Both parties cannot harm each other. With permission, can teleport to the other's shelter. Usage limit 5 times. Ally. She decides to think it over tonight before deciding. Daytime is precious, so she tucks the scroll away and starts compounding ripening agent at the work table. Her workbench sits beside a large window of polished wood, and the bottles of mutated plant extracts are arranged by hue and viscosity. Orange concentrates in the front for accelerators, pale green in the back for stabilizers, a few amber drops kept apart for the rare cross mutations she does not yet trust. Each bottle is labeled with a script she invented. Pure inheritance from a botanist grandmother, she likes to say. While she works, the giant tree's leaves rustle softly above the field, almost like a long exhalation. Little Green is content. She is content. The wheat will keep. The contract waits in the chest. By the time I surface from the focused crafting trance, fences pile up to my chest and the cramped shelter has run out of floor space. I emerge with stiff arms and gulp from a mineral water bottle. Outside it has gone dark earlier than I expected. The manual reads 3 hours have passed and I am amazed I worked through it without break. 2 days ago I could not last 2 hours. The red heart fruit's repeat use has thickened my fibers. Wood production has scaled across the population, so survivor demand for safety fences is higher, and prices have ticked up rather than down. I list the new fences at 6 wood per piece on the trade channel and head out to the birch grove to check on the hunting ants. The birch grove is gone. Hundreds of birches reduced to low stumps. The entire forest converted to logs in 3 hours. I stare at the bare ground, surprise and disbelief and pleasure all at once. The hunting ants are at the far edge in an open clearing, still working. They fell the trees, then trim branches with their scythes, then stack them neatly. Hundreds of clean logs piled with craftsman precision. I had only ordered them to chop. They added the trim and stacked themselves. Their stamina is essentially limitless. I count the haul. 2,029 units of wood. 3 hours. With this kind of wood, I can upgrade 2 level 3 shelters. I no longer need to sell meat, but this kind of harvest is not repeatable. My territory has only one dense forest, and the hunting ants have leveled it. The remaining trees are scattered and total roughly 1,000 units of wood across long distances, so collection is inconvenient. If only I could rent the hunting ants out, labor dispatch, get rich in minutes. Realistic question first. Even at full hunting ant deployment, hauling 2,029 wood back takes 2 to 3 hours, and I have under an hour of daylight left. It cannot all reach the shelter. But this is my territory. I am the only survivor in it, and the wood is not going anywhere overnight. Better still, upgrade the shelter on the spot and skip the haul. I open the trade channel for stone in bulk. After some browsing, I land on Gichin, who has listed 300 units. To list this much this early, he must be capable. The price is too high. 2.5 wood per stone when market is 2.1 to 2.2. I message him, can the price be lower? I need a large quantity. In a corner of the dark world, in a level 2 shelter, a disheveled bearded young man banging on a stone axe perks up at the manual beep. Big customer, finally. He drops the axe, opens the manual, and forces composure. Gichin, large quantity. How large? Someone today bought 10 stones and also called that large. Me. I will take all 300 units of stone you have listed. Is that a large quantity enough? On his side, he nearly cries with excitement. He badly lacks wood. His shelter is in stone country with few trees. His original stone axe broke before he collected much, and he survived only because a chest dropped a silver mining pick. After he dug too much stone, the price dropped, and his high listing has been waiting for a fated buyer. Almost a full day with no inquiries. And finally, a customer. Do not panic facing a big fish, he tells himself. He replies, brother, this price is the lowest. You do not know how hard stone is to collect. I'm the only one offering this much at once. You sly dog, raising the price on contact. I shake my head and reply, 2.1 wood per stone. Deal if yes, I can also accumulate slowly tonight. The night is long. He insists. Brother, every stone is bent over flesh and blood. Are your stones going to turn into Sun Wukong? I am unmoved. Then forget it. He has to take the deal because he genuinely needs wood and cannot afford to gamble on my bluff. Fine, brother. Your way. If I were not in a hurry, I would not part with them. He sends a friend request and we trade 300 stones for 630 wood. I accept the friend. Of the original 2,029 wood, 1,399 remain, plus the 300 stone, level 3 upgrade plus a buffer for facilities. Easy. I open the manual. Do you wish to consume 500 wood and 100 stone to upgrade the shelter? Yes. Shelter upgrading, please wait. The wood and stone vanish from my inventory as the panel ticks the consumption, and a small spinning indicator hovers in my mind's eye. The upgrade is started. I look up at my old level 2 box from 100 meters out and brace for whatever the upgrade animation looks like. The chat channel is quiet at this hour, with most survivors deep into their nightly bonfire crouch and preparing for the 17-hour dark. The cold pricks my cheeks despite the cotton suit and the gloves. I tighten the collar and walk a few steps closer to the construction zone, watching to make sure no mutated beast wanders into the gap during the build process. 5 minutes later, the shelter completes the upgrade to level 3 exquisite wooden house. The waiting felt longer than the timer because my eyes were on the dark ring of the territory edge the whole time, half expecting a silver mutated beast to wander in and find me out in the open, with no fence and no cover. I am still at the old grove site. With the trees gone, the line of sight to the shelter is clear, and I watch the upgrade visually for the first time. A globe of darkness wraps the original 20 square meter wooden house, and when it dissipates, an 80 square meter exquisite wooden house with a stone-laid base stands in its place. Compared to the level 2 box, this is a real house. Space, safety, aesthetics, all step changes. Building a house in minutes from nothing is more black tech, and I have stopped trying to understand the engine. New buildable facilities. Level 1 farmland, 200 wood, 100 square meters of monster immune protected farmland for planting. Level 1 animal pen, 200 wood and 50 stone, 100 square meters of monster immune protected pen for raising creatures. Level 1 workbench, 100 wood and 50 stone, a workbench that speeds item crafting and reduces fatigue. Farmland is an absolute steal. I paid 56 wood for a 12 square meter 3-tier nursery, and 100 square meters for 200 wood is many times the rate. The pen is more useful than I first thought. Hunting ants and sentry ants are growing in numbers, and letting hunting ants tunnel under the shelter is a collapse risk. The workbench is exactly what it sounds like. Slave driver's whip for crafting, increasing both speed and stamina. I build all 3 at once. 500 wood and 100 stone total, equivalent to another level 3 upgrade in resource terms. Farmland and pen near the shelter, workbench beside the stove indoors. The farmland fence is tall and clearly demarcated. The pen, smaller, sits to the side. I have the hunting ants carry some wood inside for the night and head in. The level 2 shelter at 20 square meters have been claustrophobic with bed, stove, cabinet, 3 empty chests, 3-tier nursery, and the spring water source competing for floor. 80 square meters with no room dividers is suddenly empty and spacious. Insulation has improved noticeably too. Closing the door alone, the chill drops, even before I light a fire. After a level 3 upgrade, I feel real comfort settle in, the kind I have not had since I arrived. As long as the stove burns, the cold wave should not freeze me. The cold wave's two threats are extreme cold and food, and I now have enough preparation on both axes to exhale. I light the stove and consider dinner. Inventory: 20 gin of multi-ear wheat, 9 red heart fruits, 22 gin of sweet potatoes, 30 gin of bronze boar meat, 25 gin of black iron rabbit meat, plus chest bread. The startup phase is over. Tonight is barbecue. I have been on rye bread for days and gave the meat to the hunting ants, without tasting. I save when I should and spend when I should. I am no miser. I wipe the black iron longsword clean, cut large slabs of boar and rabbit, chop into cubes, split sticks with the axe, skewer and roast on the stove. The slabs are thick and slow to cook through, but that is fine. Flip occasionally. The smell turns on within minutes, and I swallow audibly. Wait, no barbecue without seasoning. Cumin, chili powder, black pepper. Without those, no soul. I check trade channel. Nobody's selling. I post on the chat channel, anyone selling cumin, chili powder, black pepper. Paying high. The chat detonates immediately. Holy cow, why is Boss Jang Hyun buying seasonings? Is he doing barbecue? Cumin, chili powder, barbecue. I have not even hit rye bread freedom, and Boss Jang Hyun is at barbecue freedom. Brother, can you give me a piece? If you give me a piece of barbecue, I will do whatever you say. Hey, you can see avatars in the chat. You do not have the looks for this. My private DMs flood with freeloaders to the point I have to disable non-friend messages. I rub my forehead, regretting the broadcast. 3 messages a day on the world channel, and I burned one on cumin. I had been on top of my development cycle, and a single careless line about barbecue collapsed my privacy for the night. Lesson logged. Never broadcast aspirational consumption on the world channel. Everything goes through DMs and friends. Just as I close the manual, the friend bell pings. Cheongha. She and I have been friends since day one. Cheongha Janghyun. It is night again. Do you still have mutated spring water to trade? My eyes light up. She is the highest probability seasoning supplier I know. Plant specialist. I reply, we will get to that. Do you have any seasonings, like cumin, chili powder, etc.? She is stunned. Why is he asking? Before she can reply, I send a trade with a string of barbecue skewers on my side, and her eyes widen at the golden sizzling, oily roasted pork skewers. Cheongha's plant path is real, but she is not a vegetarian. Days of not tasting meat. Weak tears flow at the sight. Yes, she replies, I have many kinds. Logically, with her wealth, she could easily buy fresh meat, but her cooking is so terrible the food she makes is inedible, so she has been eating chest food and porridge. Hence the meat deprivation reflex. I grin, ask if she wants to trade barbecue for seasonings, and she instantly agrees. We trade 2 boar skewers and 2 rabbit skewers for cumin, chili powder, and a green pepper powder she cultivated from a plant called green pepper, which according to her tastes like a mild mustard. On her side, she has forgotten her original purpose entirely. She is sprinkling all 3 seasonings, eating with oil dripping, almost swallowing her tongue. I eat the rest of the skewers and nod, satisfied. Cooking has not declined since I started living alone after grandfather passed. If anything, tonight outdid myself. Not skill, ingredient quality. Bronze and black iron meats and Cheongha's mutated plant seasonings produce a flavor past every barbecue I have ever made. Better still, after eating I feel warmth spread through my body, and even my physique seems faintly improved. Ranked meats are not just delicious, they are physique buffs, and over time the cumulative effect should be significant, like the red heart fruit. I am no hedonist, but if pleasure also makes me stronger, no hesitation. I commit to chasing ranked grains and meats in the future. The red heart fruit already proved that physique can be improved through ingestion if the material is rare enough. Ranked meats clearly do the same incrementally. Stack red heart fruit with ranked food daily and the cumulative buff over weeks could meaningfully raise my baseline. The base tier of survival is no longer one fence and a fire. It is what I eat and what my ants eat, and both feed the same combat ceiling. After the barbecue, I walk to the ant nest by the spring. The animal pen is built, but it is night and I have not moved the nest yet, so the original is still in place. I summon the hunter queen. The panel reads current mutation evolution success rate 87%. Flesh and blood materials raise the rate highly likely reproductive evolution. 13% from silver. Since the bronze evolution, she had only climbed 11% on the meat I fed her, plus the 20-some gin of boar and rabbit organs from the cleanup. Those waste organs alone added 76%. Should have bought organs from the start. Would have saved a fortune. Trade channel still has nobody selling them, since organs are foul and most hunters discard them. I take out 4 gin of boar meat and feed her. She trembles excitedly and devours all 4 gin in 2 minutes. Rate spiking to 100. Drink the spring water. She walks happily to the source. She remembers what comes after. She drinks 5 milliliters before stopping, more than the small tasting because her body is bigger now. I did not gene fuse her, so she is 7 or 8 centimeters and not the half meter of the boar-fused workers. The water takes effect and her body swells rapidly. 5 minutes, 10 times bigger, 70 or 80 centimeters long. Her originally all-black abdomen now carries layered silver ring patterns, mysterious and almost ornamental. Her scythe mandibles are nearly gone. She is a reproductive ant, and every evolution strengthens reproduction at the cost of offense. Ordinary hunting ants at silver get sharper and bigger mandibles. Queens shed them. She is in extreme energy depletion post-evolution, so I give her boar meat to refill. She inhales it. Panel, black scythe hunter ant queen, silver rank. Potential silver rank, already at limit, can break with special items or skills. Type reproductive. Abilities rapid reproduction, production expansion, rapid development. Fused genes none. Currently confused genes 2 times. Rapid development is a new ability. Inject energy into newly hatched larvae and rapidly develop them to mature state. Double the normal energy cost. Not for daily use, but a clutch save in a pinch. Instantly spawn thousands of hunting ants for counterattack if anything threatens me. 2 gene fusions on the queen now. I have not rushed queen fusion because there is only one of her, and the choice has to be cautious. Vague hypothesis. Fusing higher potential creature genes might raise growth potential. If she fused with a gold creature gene, would she gain gold growth potential? Trade channel does not even list silver flesh, let alone gold. This stays theoretical for now. While I am thinking, the queen finishes eating, rubs her antennae toward me, and makes a shasha sound, the rhythm carrying meaning the species contract decodes directly into my head. Master, the meat, delicious. If it is tasty, eat more, plenty of meat, I reply on autopilot. And freeze. I am the only one in the shelter, where did the voice come from? Chill down spine. I look around. No invaders, only the queen with her abdomen on the floor, lifting her head to look at me with 2 large black eyes. Calm. The voice earlier was not human, a strange rustling sound, but I understood the meaning directly. Realization. The only biological foreign language I can understand is the contracted ant species via species contract. The queen rubs her antennae again. Rustle. Master. Confirmed. Until now the ants, including Mowol pre-silver, only sent biological signals which I decoded. She has now sent an emotionally textured statement with content. The previous ants were like robots, only receiving commands and executing them strictly, never transmitting messages with clear meaning and emotional shading. In this dark world anything is possible, but the simplest explanation is the silver evolution pushed her over the intelligence threshold. Silver is clearly a strength and intelligence inflection point, not just a damage and durability bump. If silver mutated beasts roam level 3 territory and they are this kind of inflection, the pressure is real, and the laziness from the upgrade and the meal evaporates. I sigh wryly. The dark world does not allow rest. Still, Silver Hunter Queen is a serious upgrade, and once silver hunting ants breed and gene fuse with strong creatures, silver mutated beasts may become matchable. The resource problem rises again, because I had thought I was set, and clearly I am not. I push it aside. You should have a name now, I tell her. She tilts her head. Name? Yes, a name. I rub my chin and brainstorm. I rule out Xiao Hei, Little Black too generic. After 2 minutes of careful brainstorming, my eyes light up. Ink-colored blade, silent moonslayer, the imagery a Korean classical scholar might have used for a dark assassin. Your name shall be Mowol. Russell. Ink, moon, Mowol. Thank you, master. Whether she fully understands the meaning is unclear, but she straightens her upper body and waves her 2 small scythes. Satisfied. Mowol, breed some silver hunting ants. Powerful enemies are around the shelter. I need your strength. Yes, master. She cannot breed alone, so I invest another 10 jin of bronze boar meat to upgrade her 8 hunting ant harem to silver. To my surprise, ordinary silver hunting ants do not develop intelligence. Silver intelligence appears to be exclusive to queens, which fits ant social structure. Mowol enters breeding state, and I leave her alone, since her feeding cadence is hers to manage, and the harem ants will work on her schedule. The new ant nest entrance is now a meter wide to fit her, which means the inner tunnel volume has more than doubled, and the hunting ants have stacked the spillover dirt into an impressive ring around the cavern that doubles as bedding for new larvae. I stand at the entrance for a few moments, listening to the soft clicks of mandible work and the thin whine of feeding, and the scale of the nest hits me. A few days ago, this was 63 rice grain ants chewing my baguette, and now it is a silver tier breeding chamber. Specialization works. The Eye of Taming, Fountain of Mutation, Species Contract, Ant Nest Nucleus, Gene Manipulator, the Hunting Ant Queen and Sentry Ant Queen sharing a single nest with the nucleus inside. And now the Silver Hunter Queen with 2 gene fusion potential all stack into a single thesis. Ants as scalable infrastructure. The fantasy of a dragon knight is dead and buried. The reality of an ant knight is taking shape, and it is already absurd. I look at the quick hemostatic bandage blueprint. Crafting cost, adhesive, coagulation serum, plant fiber. None of these read as raw materials. They sound like processed products. A bronze-grade blueprint with this complex a craft chain is unusual. The night now runs 17 hours. Plenty of time to sort it out. Trade channel first. Adhesive. Owner Yo Hazel. 5 wood or 3 stone. Few sellers. I message her. How much adhesive total? Half an hour into the night, she replies instantly. I only have 10 right now, but if you need more, I can make more. So adhesive has its own blueprint behind it, and she's on the production side. Plant fiber and coagulation serum almost certainly work the same way. I have just walked into a small craft economy I had not realized existed. So adhesive is also blueprint crafted, not raw. Probably the same for coagulation serum and plant fiber. I take 10 for now, contact again if more. She is happy because adhesive does not move quickly. Trade complete, 50 wood for 10 units. Days tally, 348 wood from fences, plus the hunting ant haul, minus stone purchase and upgrade in facilities, leaves 399 wood in stock. With my prior stash, total 802 wood and 200 stone. Comfortably rich. Coagulation serum next. Far fewer sellers. One listing catches my eye. Owner Will. 100 wood per unit. Price negotiable via private message. Other listings are 20 to 30 wood. Exorbitant, but Will is honest and the negotiable note is a beacon. He is fishing for serious customers. Will sells fresh meat from day 2, hunts heavily, has plenty of blood, and coagulation serum is plausibly a blood derivative. I message him, Will, your coagulation serum is too high, market is 1/5. 10 seconds later he replies, Janghyun, why are you searching coagulation serum? Do you know its use? He set the high price to fish. I have nothing to hide. I have a quick hemostatic bandage blueprint. Coagulation serum is a raw material. I send him the blueprint info. In his own level 3 shelter elsewhere, Will is on a wooden bed, manual in hand, his bearded face still smelling faintly of beast blood from a recent processing session. The instant he reads the blueprint info, he stands up, bearded face complex with surprise and joy. Janghyun, do you have this bandage? I can give you coagulation serum and mutated wild boar meat for free. Is Will injured? I almost asked before realizing the rhetorical answer. He fights vicious mutated beasts daily. Injuries are routine. I reply, I just bought adhesive. I only need coagulation serum and plant fiber to synthesize. He instantly, I have 15 portions of coagulation serum free. Just give me 1 bandage after you make it. 15 portions free at 30 wood per portion is roughly 450 wood, more than the bandage's value. Will really needs it. I could take the deal, high profit. But Will is more valuable than the resources. The dark world is full of crises, and a fighting force of his caliber might save my life. I reply, I will buy your coagulation serum at market price. But the first bandage I make is yours, at normal market price. You provide me coagulation serum long-term going forward. On his side, warmth. Janghyun can be a true friend. Although he wanted to give the serum free, since I refuse, he stops insisting and silently resolves to send me more resources later. Trade. 330 wood for 15 portions. Pale yellow vials, sealed at the cork. I line them on the workbench shelf alongside the 10 adhesive units, and the bench is starting to look like a small medical supply atelier. Last material, plant fiber. Trade channel keyword plant fiber yields over 20 pages, prices around 10 wood. Will's urgency is real, and I made a promise. I do not want to delay his injury or sit on an unfulfilled promise. I picked the first reasonable listing, buy 1 portion at 10 wood, and sit at the workbench for the first time. The bench is like a spacious computer desk, surface comfortable, operation smooth. Bandage crafting time drops from 10 minutes to 9.5. Half a minute does not look like much per item, but as crafted volume scales the saving stack. At 100 items that is 50 minutes saved, at 1,000 items it is more than 8 hours, and the fatigue reduction makes the back half of any session more productive. The bench is not just a fixture, it is the throughput multiplier for everything I make. Done. I trade request Will, who clearly is guarding his manual, and accepts instantly. I list 1 bandage, he lists 200 wood and 10 gene of bronze boar meat. Bandage cost is roughly 40 wood. 200 wood plus 10 gene of meat is at least 500 wood total. I look up. Will replies, part is the price. Part is gratitude. Your bandage is a very valuable medical item, beyond ordinary resource pricing, and unless resources are scarce, do not sell it easily. I accept the trade, but his words land. Medical items. I have not seen any in the trade channel. The bandage is bronze in name, but the manufacturing chain is much harder than ordinary bronze items. The dark world may be deliberately controlling medical supply across the world. Why, I cannot guess yet. I shake it off. Too far for me to be useful right now. The medical supply control hypothesis stays in the back of my head as a flag, though. If true, it has implications. The dark world wants survivors to die at expected rates from injury, and the bandage I just made is one of the very few items that breaks the model. A bandage that resolves blood loss has compounding effect on the population dynamics of survivors. Every hunt becomes more survivable. Every mutated beast confrontation becomes more profitable. Every survivor with one becomes incrementally tougher to remove from the population. A medical supply pipeline, even at small scale, distorts the death curve the system is enforcing, and the system reacts by limiting raw material availability rather than banning the items outright. The work is therefore feasible, just slow and politically sensitive among other survivors who learn what I am brewing. Hence the artificial scarcity. Hence Will's warning that a bronze bandage is far more valuable than its rank suggests. Hard not to wonder what other deliberate scarcities the system is enforcing. Clean water, antibiotics, antitoxins, prosthetics, heat sources at scale. Each unanswered category is a market gap, and a future supply pipeline I might own. With Chongha's plant work, an alliance might be the engine that scales medical production rather than just bandages. Disinfectant from mutated alcohols, antitoxins from venom-cultivated plants, anti-inflammatory pastes from leaf compounds. The dark world may want to keep medical supplies scarce. Partnerships breaking that scarcity become exponentially more valuable. I file the thought as priority pipeline development for after the cold wave. Now I want to make a batch. I open the trade channel for plant fiber again. And stop. How could I forget? Xiongha is a plant specialist. Plant fiber is not rare, and trading with a friend is preferable for relationship and supply stability. I DM her. Xiongha, do you have plant fiber? She takes 5 minutes, long enough for me to drift to other tasks and contemplate buying from a stranger. When she finally replies, plant fiber, yes, what do you need? Are you making something delicious? Plant fiber and food. What is the connection? I do not understand the leap. On her side, her face goes red. She clutches the manual tighter. Did I just say that? Will Jiang Hin think I am only a foodie? She covers, oh, you asked for seasonings earlier, so I assumed food again. Explanation makes it worse. I let it go because she clearly cares about her image. She continues, by the way, I have plenty, byproduct of stock plants, currently 39 portions. I do not need them. I will give them all to you. Does everyone have to be this generous? Your 39 portions are 390 wood at market. I refuse to take her at a loss and trade 50 milliliters of mutated spring water for the lot. I also tell her I am making bandages and she gets priority supply if needed. As I am closing the manual, another message from her. By the way, Jiang Hin, I was so focused on the meat I forgot the important matter. Important matter, when she asked about mutated spring water originally, that was the lead-in. But I already gave her 50 milliliters. That should be enough. She continues, it is like this. After a few days of interaction, I feel you are someone worth befriending. Good strength, good character, excellent cooking. Is that the main point? There is something strange in there. I prompt. So, important matter, not just to praise me, right? You wish. The important matter is I want to form an alliance, become allies. I reply jokingly. Allies? I thought we already were. Yes, but only a verbal gentleman's agreement. My idea is that we should establish a deeper level of cooperation. The dangers of the dark world are far more numerous than either of us imagines. One person's strength is limited. To survive better, we must prepare for a rainy day. The phrasing is careful, not pushy. She is letting me lead the question while making it clear the answer will be a substantive instrument, not a friendlier handshake. The how, please. She sends item info, mutual aid contract, gold rank, select a target, establish a contract. Both parties cannot harm each other. With permission can teleport to the other's shelter. Usage limit 5 times. Mutual aid contract. Gold rank. I sit up straight, the soft mattress no longer soft. The fence crafting fatigue no longer relevant. This is the kind of item where the answer is yes before the negotiation begins. And the only question is whether the partner is the right one. The mutual aid contract is overpowered. 2-way teleport, mutual non-harm binding, 5 uses. Humans are social animals and crave alliance. In this dark and dangerous world, isolation is psychological as much as practical, and a contract bridges islands. The acquisition difficulty is high. The only way I can imagine she got this is the gold gift package from the temporary mission, which means she is probably first regionally too. Her deeper cooperation pitch was not an empty line. The item's value demands sincerity from me too. I reply, since you have the item out, you want to sign with me. I am very interested in deeper cooperation. On her side, a quiet exhale. She chose me carefully after considering many people and was hoping I would accept. I add, your item is high value, alliances are mutual, but to avoid misunderstanding, let us clarify some things first. You probably do not have a basic understanding of my abilities. I only know yours are plant-related. Let me introduce mine and you can introduce yours. Then we decide on the contract. She smiles at the directness. She replies, all right, but let us send simultaneously rather than have one go first. Done. We type at the same time. Mine. Main ability, control and cultivate ants. Strengths, reconnaissance, can detect surrounding territory. Combat, can defeat silver mutated beasts. Physical labor assists with chopping and harvesting. Genetic modification, can extract and implant biological genes. Hers. Main ability, control and cultivate plants. Strengths, food, large amounts of food including mutated plants with effects. Detection, can communicate with plants for territory info. Defense, defends against silver creature invasions. Information, some special information of the dark world. Reading hers, I am stunned. Food is the bottleneck of this world, and how much food she can produce is anyone's guess. The math is simple. 200 multi-ear winter wheat seeds I traded from her yielded 40 gin in my 3-tier nursery in roughly a day with 1 bottle of ripening agent per 100 seeds. If her level-3 farmland is 100 square meters at full density, and she has multiple farmland tiers and additional protected ground around her shelter, the per-day output is in the low thousands of gin, possibly more. Most survivors are still chewing rye bread. She is sitting on a small grain reserve. I do not eat a lot, but the ants do. The more food, the bigger the army. Ants are omnivorous. Even hunting ants who need meat for evolution can survive on grain, since silver workers are at potential limit, and the meat demand drops to maintenance. Her food alone would be enough to anchor the alliance. Detection answers my old question of how she finds resources in chests so fast. Plants are everywhere, and her plant communication may even outperform my sentry ants. Defense against silver creatures means her own combat power is real, even if it operates through a different vector than mine. With a contracted world tree, she has a moving fortress in the form of branches, roots, and condensed leaves, none of which I have been able to picture from her trade messages alone. Her defense line probably does not just mean she can survive a silver attack on her shelter. It probably means the world tree can drive one off, which is a far more aggressive defense than survivors usually achieve. Information is the most curious. Dark World Secret Tier, potentially. The system has dropped 6 precautions and a few broadcast lines, and otherwise left survivors to read the mechanics off each other's experience. If she has access to a deeper layer of context, disaster forecasts, rarer item taxonomies, the structure of the territory rings, who the supposed top-tier survivors are, that information bridges blind spots that have been costing me time. After the contract, I will see what I can learn. On her side, she is also shocked. Jang Hyun's strength is exaggerated. She developed quickly thanks to a contract with Little Green from day one. Does Jang Hyun have something similar? Combat against silver mutated beasts. Even Little Green struggles with one. He controls ants, and ants can defeat silver creatures. What kind of ants are these? Ants are synonymous with weakness. She cannot picture rice grain ants matching ferocious silver mutated beasts. But Jang Hyun is not boastful, so she accepts and reserves judgment. Then the labor and gene modification entries. She lights up. Physical labor saves her muscles. Gene modification could direct her plant mutations. She knew about my fountain of mutation, did not know about gene modification. Both alone make the contract worthwhile. She writes, "Your abilities are incredibly strong, Jang Hyun. Let us sign quickly." Right after sending it, she rubs her head. I was a little too eager, not conducive to cooperation. Jang Hyun is a 5-sided warrior. The only side he lacks is food, which I have in abundance. Perfect complement. I see no need to raise the price. Her abilities are critical for me and vice versa. I reply, "That is exactly what I was thinking. Sign, I look forward to deeper cooperation." She, happy to cooperate, writes your name on the scroll. Touch with finger. She trades the scroll over with her name already written in elegant brushwork. Up to 5 names per contract. If all sign the same scroll, all 5 become allies and the binding extends across the entire group. I touch the scroll and a black mark appears under my fingertip. I write, Jang Hyun next to her elegant signature. My handwriting is poor. I have not done calligraphy in years and have barely written by hand in this dark world, and it looks crooked next to her elegant signature, abstract and dragon and snake-like. The contrast is severe. I worry briefly that the contract will reject an abstract scrawl as not legibly representing a real name, but the contract clearly cares about identity rather than aesthetics. A few seconds later, a connection clicks in my mind. The kind of subconscious tether I felt when I first learned Eye of Taming, only thinner and pointed at a person rather than a creature. The tether does not give me access to her thoughts or her location in any granular way. It is more like a knowledge that she exists at the other end, and that she cannot harm me without breaking the binding. The mutual non-harm clause is enforced at the system level. There is no way to fake it. Friend list updates. Her avatar now has a request teleport option in addition to chat and trade. System. Survivors Changhoon have successfully established a contract. Protected by the power of the contract, neither party may harm the other. I trade the scroll back. On her side, she looks at my signature and laughs softly. It is unique. She picks up the manual. Jang Hyun, is it convenient for me to visit? I am stunned for a moment, because the question is not just polite. Visiting in person is a step beyond the contract. In the dark world, going to someone else's shelter or having someone come to one's own is dangerous either way. Relatively speaking, going somewhere else is more dangerous because you are on unfamiliar ground without your defenses around you. For Chongha, a woman, to actively volunteer to come to my shelter so soon after signing is a stronger signal of sincerity than the contract itself. Visiting another shelter or being visited is risky. Visiting is more so since you are off your own home turf. For her to volunteer to come herself is a major signal of sincerity. I reply, okay, but it is messy here. Hope you do not mind. Not at all. At this stage everyone is focused on survival. My shelter is messy too. She is about to teleport when she pauses. First meeting, she should bring a gift. She paces back and forth in the wooden house, frowning slightly, and then her eyes light up at the world tree outside. I have got it, little green. Give me one of your world tree leaves, please. The tree shakes its leaves violently. She expected the protest. I know it is hard to condense one, but I am visiting our mutated spring water big client. The reason you have evolved so fast is the spring water. No high-grade gift would be poor manners. And what if he stops giving us spring water? The tree's rustles soften, and a slender branch reaches her with a golden leaf. Successful plotting smile. Thank you, little green. Do not worry, I will exchange more spring water for you. She plucks the leaf carefully, places it in a small cloth pouch, opens her manual, and sends the teleport request. With a flash of white light and a gentle rustle from the world tree, she disappears from her own shelter. On my side, I wait a few minutes and see the request. I accept. A peculiar circular pattern emitting a white glow appears out of nowhere on an empty space near the center of the shelter, like an anime magic circle. With a flash of white light, a tall, graceful figure in a white dress appears on it. She sways curiously from side to side, looks herself up and down, then turns to me, who is standing in the room, and smiles slightly. Nice to meet you. I am Chung-ha. Bright eyes, white teeth, like a lotus emerging from water. Even a steel-straight man pauses for a half-beat. I recover. It has been a while. I am Jang-hyun. We greet each other with mutually good first impressions. She holds out the golden leaf. Small gift for our first meeting, nothing much. So formal. She even brought a gift. I take it absently, and information about the leaf instantly appears in my eyes. World Tree Leaf. Gold rank. A leaf condensed from the essence of World Tree energy. Consuming it can increase lifespan by 10 years. My pupils contract. Consumption increases lifespan by 10 years. How many emperors and dynasties on Blue Star wasted manpower and resources chasing the elixir of immortality? And here she is handing one over like passing a cigarette. Even knowing she is rich and generous, this is a first meeting gift is too much. I take a breath and offer the leaf back. This is too valuable. I cannot accept. She seems surprised. Who could refuse lifespan? And then her eyes clear. How can a given item be taken back? Moreover, in a safe environment, lifespan is priceless. But here we may not live many more days. The math changes. Yes, who can guarantee a peaceful retirement in the dark world? I sigh and accept. The reasoning is sound. Lifespan in a safe context is priceless because the marginal value of a year scales with peace and prosperity. In a world where day 5 may be your last, the marginal value of a year is much lower, and the leaf is functionally just another buff. The transactional logic strips the awe out of the gift, and that strips the social burden too. She is not handing me a generational treasure, she is handing me a tool. I move a few steps to the spring water source. The pool is the same as the day it formed, lighter purple welling up where the original seeded the soil, the surface texture faintly viscous compared to ordinary water. I take an empty glass bottle from a box, bend down, fill a small bottle, and offer it back. This is mutated spring water, our usual trade. I have not needed much recently, plenty left. Consider it my welcome gift. She recognizes it instantly, and her eyes briefly contract. That bottle is at least 100 milliliters, more than the past few days of trade combined. She is about to refuse, then remembers her own argument and accepts. Basic social etiquette has reasons. After exchanging gifts, the wariness drops noticeably. There is something in the formality of an in-person meeting that the manual cannot replicate. Body language, voice cadence, the small tells when someone is choosing words carefully. After only a few minutes in person, I have a much better read on her than I did after days of trades. She is not just a rich woman with plant skills. She is meticulous, easy to read once you know to look, but with reserves she keeps locked up tight. The information line in her ability list is not idle. I sit on the wooden bed, she on the workbench chair, and we begin discussing details. She, Jang-hyun, what are your thoughts on level 4 shelter? I am surprised. I expected combat, gene tech, or labor first. After my own level 3 upgrade, I had been busy with facilities, dinner, Moal's silver evolution, the bandage. I never checked level 4 conditions. I gave it the back burner because the level 3 upgrade just landed and resources are not infinite. I admit it sheepishly. She smiles. That is fine, only day 4, level 3 this early already makes you one of the best. Take a look, and we will discuss. I open the manual and turn to upgrade. Shelter level 3 exquisite wooden house. Upgrade conditions. 2000 wood, 2000 stone. Upgrade all upgradable facilities to level 3. 1 gold rank beast core. The first 3 lines I scan and dismiss as time and labor problems. The last line I freeze on. A gold rank beast core. The first 2 are time problems for me at most. Resources are scaling. Beast cores come from bronze and above mutated creatures. I have only 1 bronze core from the boar. A gold rank core has to come from a gold rank mutated beast. Silver mutated beasts I have not met yet, and Chiang has been clear they are not on the same level as bronze. Gold is past that. No wonder she is rushing the alliance. Gold rank mutated beasts are not solo material at this stage of the dark world. The only way to kill one and bring back its core is a strong alliance, ideally with multiple specialists, whose combined skill set covers attack, defense, recon, and post-fight transport. Mutual aid contracts allow up to 5 names per scroll, which is exactly the size of a small operations team. She has been thinking past me toward an eventual 5-person cell. I file it for later. I exhale. Given the difficulty, ordinary survivors have no chance. You said you have information, you must know something about this. She nods. That is right. Level 3 is the limit for ordinary survivors at this stage. Level 4 is a huge hurdle even for top-tier survivors. I have not personally seen a gold-rank mutated beast, but I have learned about its strength through other channels. She lowers her voice and leans slightly forward, the conversational gravity shifting. If silver mutated beasts are 3 times the strength of bronze, then gold mutated beasts are 10 times the strength of silver. 10 times silver is a number my eyes twitch at. Each strength doubling produces an exaggerated upgrade, and 10 times stacks several doublings on top. But I am not dizzy this time. I have my own scaling plan. With a silver hunter queen breeding silver hunting ants and gene fusing them, a gold rank mutated beast may not be insurmountable. I tell her, by the way, you do not know my specific combat power. Let me show you, then evaluate whether our current resources can threaten a gold rank mutated beast. I get up and walk to the ant nest. She stands too, both curious and slightly hopeful. Could she have struck gold and Jang Hyun can solo gold rank mutated beasts? The ant nest entrance had been widened to a 1-meter diameter circle to fit Mowal's post-evolution body. When Seong-ha first walked in, she had been curious about the big black hole in the room, but the unfamiliarity kept her from asking. Now she watches as Mowal crawls out at my command. Round head, long antennae, small scythe mandibles, abdomen with silver patterns, and a body length over 70 centimeters. Seong-ha's mouth forms an O. You call this an ant? Where are there ants this big? These are your ants. No wonder you said silver combat power. Ants win on numbers, and at this size with hundreds or thousands, ordinary silver mutated beasts go down in seconds. She regains composure. If they are ants of this kind and there are enough, fighting gold rank mutated beasts is plausible. Even winning is not out of the question. But the count would be in the thousands or tens of thousands and resources would be enormous. Also, every gold rank mutated beast has different abilities. Flight, burrowing, fire, ice, and a counter ability to your ants would make killing very hard. Still, defending against gold rank at this stage is impressive. I shake my head. Her name is Mowal. She is my main combat queen, but my fighting style does not rely on her, since the hunter queen is reproductive type and offense is shed in evolution. Mowal, let your silver citizens come out. Such a formidable ant is not the main force. Seong-ha is on the edge of her seat, and her usual graceful poise is starting to crack at the corners. She had been mentally adjusting to a partner who can defend against silver mutated beasts in a pinch. The idea of a partner who can solo more than that, by stacking silver tier ants in numbers and gene fusing them with 2 silver creature kits each, is forcing her to recompute the alliance's center of gravity in real time. Her plant-based defense was the comparable counterweight to my ant force. If my ant force is multiples larger than she assumed, the alliance becomes asymmetric in my favor, which is uncomfortable for her sense of fairness even if it is good for both our survival. She does not say it aloud, but the small rapid blinks give her away. Mole's antennae move toward the entrance. After 10 or so seconds, larger blacker creatures emerge one by one. 6 in a row, each over a meter long with thick matte black carapaces, and half-meter long sharp scythe mandibles that are shiver-inducing on sight. They do not move like animals. They move like assembled machines, weight balanced perfectly on 6 legs, articulation crisp and silent. Seong-ha is thoroughly stunned, slender hand trembling as she points, momentarily speechless. Each one of these is a silver hunting ant, enough to dominate territory in the right conditions. 6 of them at my command, with 2 gene fusion potential each, is a striking force well past silver tier on its own. Once Mowal breeds the next batch, the count climbs from 6 to 30 to 100 to several hundred. Every silver ant a fortress on 6 legs. I find her shocked face cute, the regal mask fully off, and continue the demonstration. My main combat ants are silver, and they can fuse the genes of 2 mutated creatures. Bronze ants fusing bronze creature genes more than doubled combat power. Silver ants fusing 2 silver mutated beast genes should triple or quadruple combat power conservatively. She abandons the elegant posture. With a bitter smile, when we exchanged information, I thought you were exaggerating. Now it seems you are being conservative. Actually, you should have the ability to hunt gold rank mutated creatures on your own. I shake my head. You are overestimating me. My ants are weapons. Manufacturing them costs resources up front and maintenance is heavy. Your kind of plant specialization producing food at scale is equally important to me. Do not belittle yourself. I almost said you're kind of rich and corrected mid-sentence. She, already in shocked Zen mode, did not catch it. She asks the crucial question. How long, how many resources to cultivate 1 silver ant, and how much daily maintenance in multi-year winter wheat units I gave you? Good question. I have been pushing rarity, not yet auditing the costs. With species contract intelligence, I can ask Mowal directly. I take a handful of wheat from the cabinet, walk to Mowal, stroke her head, and hand her the wheat. Mowal, with enough wheat, how many citizens can you cultivate per day? And how much wheat does each citizen consume per day? She straightens, takes the wheat with her tiny upper ant legs, hugs it briefly, and chews through over 30 grains in a quick smacking rhythm. Then she looks up and speaks in rustles. Master, Mowal understands. She reports for half a minute, antennae shifting in a slow dance as she annotates each number with biological context. Feeding cycle, gestation cycle, energy partitioning, idle versus active maintenance. I crouch beside her, listening and translating internally with species contract, and gradually a clear table of figures forms in my head. When she finishes, I straighten with a bitter expression. With ample food, Mowal can cultivate approximately 120 silver ants per day. Each silver ant requires 100 jin of wheat to cultivate from the larval stage to maturity. The daily minimum maintenance per silver ant is 1 jin of wheat for idle keep. Intense labor or sustained combat is 10 jin per ant per day. The earlier 6 silver hunting ants were cultivated from the bulk meat I dumped earlier. 20 jin of boar meat plus the offal, and Mowal is now empty. 20 jin of meat for 6 ants is unsustainable. Even on cheaper grain, 100 jin per ant blows past my imagination. Balance. I cannot do whatever I want. The silver ant army fantasy crashes. Cultivating 10 silver ants requires 1,000 jin of grain, which is roughly 50 multi-year winter wheat plantings on my 3-tier nursery. The nursery yields 10 kilograms in roughly a day with ripening agent, which is 20 jin in the same period, meaning 10 silver ants is nearly a 50-day production cycle of my own farming, before maintenance is considered. Even with the new 100 square meter level 3 farmland, the math is grim. My face goes wilted. Cheong-ha, who had been numbed by the demo, lets out a pff laugh. With a relaxed expression, she pats her chest and declares, "All right, do not be discouraged. I am still here. You go all out and cultivate ants for 3 days. I will provide the grain." The gentle voice brushes my ear like a powerful explosive. I stare blankly at her small hand, patting her chest in such a bold declaration. Her slender figure suddenly seems majestic. 3 days of unrestricted grain, at 100 jin per ant per day, 360 silver ants are theoretically possible, and at the daily maintenance cost of 1 jin per ant in idle, and 10 jin in combat, an army of 300 or 400 silver hunting ants becomes sustainable on a steady wheat supply. Combined with Mowal's 2-gene fusion ceiling and the hunting ant's silver tier 2-gene fusion ability, the floor for what they can fight rises dramatically. Cheong-ha has just handed me the runway I did not have. I steady myself, exhale, and tell her the offer is accepted, with a clear caveat. Once the ant army stabilizes and we begin hunting mutated beasts cooperatively, the meat returns to her ratio so that her resources do not run a one-way deficit. She nods, satisfied with the symmetry. Cooperation is mutual. She likes that I do not take the freebie at face value, which lets her keep extending the line of credit without worrying she is being used. 3 days of grain at her promised generosity probably runs into thousands of jin, easily enough to push my silver hunting ant army from 6 to several dozen, and possibly past the threshold where a single silver mutated beast becomes a one-sided fight. The cumulative effect of the past 2 days is starting to feel like a real strategic position rather than a string of lucky chess pulls. Eye of Taming, Species Contract, Mutated Spring Water as a sustainable resource, the Hunter Queen and Sentry Queen sharing one nest with the nucleus inside, the Gene Manipulator extracting mutated wild boar genes for hunting ants to fuse, the Quick Hemostatic Bandage Blueprint feeding into a quiet medical supply pipeline, the Mutual Aid Contract slot holding open for at least one more name. Each piece individually is interesting. Stacked, they are a portfolio. Day 5 of the Dark World is going to look very different from Day 3, and the Cold Wave's actual arrival will probably accelerate every line. I take a slow breath, sit down on the wooden bed, and let the quiet of the level 3 shelter settle. Cheong-ha is on the workbench chair across from me, hands folded in her lap. The 2 ant queens are deep in their nest, breeding through the night. Outside, the temperature is plunging, and somewhere in the new 2,000-meter ring, a silver mutated beast may already be moving. Tomorrow we plan in detail, and the next move is mine to make. The Day 5 baseline is the day when the Cold Wave's first tier of cold lands and survivors begin paying for everything they did not stockpile, and the day when my hunting ant army either crosses the Silver Army threshold or stalls. Either way, the answer to that question is already in motion right now, before either of us has fully thought it through. Tonight we trade a few more notes, settle the cooperation rhythm, and let the Alliance take its first sleeping breath. The 5-name slot on the contract scroll is already on my mind. If will is the next signature, the cell crystallizes around food, plants, ants, and combat in roughly that order, and the team becomes structurally capable of facing gold-ranked mutated beasts within reasonable preparation. I will not press the introduction tonight. Alliance scaling is incremental, and overpressing breaks trust faster than slow building accumulates it. Cheong-ha brought the first contract. She is best positioned to suggest the second name, and I trust her judgment on character. Will, if he agrees, brings hunting capacity and the steady meat pipeline that scales with my hunting ant numbers. The resource symmetry between his hunts and her grain feeds the colony at both ends. Looking at Cheong-ha's mighty slender figure patting her chest, I almost go weak in the knees and kneel before the rich woman. Firm willpower dismisses the spineless thought. I take a deep breath, tone low, and tell her thank you for your support. Please do not hesitate to ask if you need anything. She turns slightly, blinks and chuckles. We are allies, are we not? I have a stake in your ant army. I will not be polite. The serious atmosphere dispels with one joke. The relationship slips a notch closer. She sits back at the workbench, hands folded on her knees, eyes fixed on me. The cold wave is approaching, she says quietly, and we do not know what situations we will face. The mutual aid contract supports 5 names. For safety, we should find a few more teammates, but quality over quantity, only elites with reliable character and strength. I had planned to suggest the same, but the contract is hers and I did not want to lead. I nod. I do not know many people, only one I would consider an elite right now, but I need to interact more and confirm. If he is reliable, I will introduce him to you. Same here, she replies. If I find someone suitable, we discuss and vote. It is getting late, she says. She has to head back, prepare enough food, and not delay my silver ant cultivation. She stands and is about to leave when I stop her. You forgot your item. The bottle of mutated spring water still sits on the table. Also, take these with you, they should help. I have Mo summon 10 more bronze gene-fused hunting ants from the nest. Through the contract, my ants now hold a non-harm clause toward Cheongha, and even register a faint affinity for her. I teach the 10 hunting ants 2 simple actions, tilling and harvesting, make them obey her commands, and walk her through the command syntax. She takes them excitedly. 10 minutes later, her message arrives. Jang Hyun, your ants are really useful. My multi-ear winter wheat was harvested instantly. Here is some grain for you first. I will plant another batch and send you the next yield as soon as it matures. Go cultivate silver ants with confidence. She opens a trade. I glance at the wheat quantity and my pupils contract. 10,000 jin. Even knowing she is rich, 10,000 jin is excessive. I subconsciously click agree, and only after the click do I realize where I will put it. A massive amount of wheat materializes from thin air and pours down. I have only enough time to order Mowol back into the nest. Then I lunge to shield the fountain of mutation with my body before the wheat rain buries me. Cheongha on the other side has no idea what predicament her grain has caused. She happily commands the 10 hunting ants, strong as oxen, to keep tilling and planting. The level 3 shelter at 80 square meters saves me. 10,000 jin spread across that floor only reaches 8 or 9 centimeters. Not enough to bury me alive. I clear the weed off facilities only, leaving the floor a wheat carpet, and half an hour later, sweating, I sit on the wooden bed and call into the wheat block nest entrance. Mowol, cultivate silver hunting ants with all your might. 10,000 jin can theoretically yield 100 silver ants if every grain goes into cultivation. And even reserving daily maintenance for the existing colony, the cultivation budget should still produce dozens overnight. Daily consumption matters, but if Cheongha's promise holds, the next wave will arrive before Mowol finishes 100. The wheat at the entrance shifts an inch. Rustling, Mowol acknowledges and begins. Rich woman, you have put me in a tough spot, but you were busy planting, so it is unintentional. As I think about it, something is wrong. I pick up the manual and reread her chat history. Ants, useful, harvested instantly. Go plant another batch. My 12 square meter 3-tier nursery yields about 20 jin per round. 10,000 jin requires at least 600 square meters of land, far past any level 3 shelter's farmland of 100. So she is planting outside her shelter, but it is night. How does she manage that? My face goes pale and my heart rate quickens. For half a second, I let my imagination run wild and link her with the night monsters. I ask directly. She answers. She has a very magical contract partner that brings the nearby 50-meter area under protection at this stage. Immune from monster attack even at night. That is how it is. You scared me. I reply with a chuckle, just asking. I will not bother you now. Finish your work first. So Cheongha has more trump cards beyond grain. I should visit her sometime. With the misunderstanding cleared, my curiosity grows. I park the thought and pick up the manual again. What excuse do I use to learn about will? I just experienced firsthand how the mutual aid contract builds trust and integrates resources. My floor is still under several centimeters of wheat. Without the contract, no amount of chat would have produced this. 3 minutes of thought later, my eyes light up. The right move is sincerity, not interrogation. I open Friends, find Will's avatar and type, "Are you there?" I wonder what Will is busy with. After a minute with no reply, I'm about to set the manual aside when I glance back at "Are you there?" and grimace, like a shy high schooler confessing or a long-lost classmate about to ask for money. Whatever. As I prepare to send another, Will answers. "What is wrong, Jung-hyun?" On his side, he has just put down a finished wool mattress and picked up the manual. A rusty welded mechanical arm gauntlet wraps his right arm, a wasteland-style technological creation that does not match the dark world aesthetic. I do not know any of this. I roll out my excuse. "Will, weren't you injured? If you still need a quick hemostatic bandage, just tell me." "Concern for me," he reads. His expression stiffens. His eyes flick to a pink pig cartoon watch under his left cuff, and his pupils lose focus. He drops into memory. "The organization does not need trash. All of you who fail training get to District 8 and feed the test subjects." "Yes, instructor." 08. You are no good either. 08 who came earlier cannot even beat me 11. A man cannot go back on his word. If you refuse to call me brother, wear this watch. The organization does not need emotional trash, only killing machines that obey. The people opposite you are not comrades. In half an hour, kill each other or die. 08, 21 fights. You have lost every one. This is the last. Only I survive. I heard you have a younger sister in District 9. Let me take care of her. Haha, you really thought of me as a friend. You are just a toy I always bullied. Cough. Why did you not dodge? My legs were numb. Is that not allowed? Idiot. Do not cry. Do not let the butcher see. Before the organization caught me, I had a brother. Same golden hair. Same stubborn temper. This watch. He lent it to me. Take it. Take care of your sister. Do not be a useless brother like me. 08. From today, your name is Will. Will Porter. Hold your documents and do not expose your identity. Begin operation. Will sits dazed, 2-meter frame obscuring the workbench. A drop of turbid liquid down his rough face. The tingling sensation halts the memory. He sits up. Pupils contract, expression returns to calm, and he pulls down the left sleeve. He exhales and replies, I am fine, thank you. If you need me for anything, just say so. I will do my best. Will is genuinely uninjured. The reason he was so eager for a bandage earlier was his sister, 09, in another shelter who injured her left leg from a mutated beast a full day ago. With only rare spring water to clean the wound, the ulceration was worsening and amputation or fatal infection was a real possibility. His sister is his only hope for survival. He had been frantically buying on the trade channel with no responses, and then I appeared. With my bandage, 09's wound healed and did not infect. Before coming to Blue Star, he had been with a terrifying organization and had not felt cared for in a very long time. Hence the memory hit. I, on the other side, frown over my next move. The plan was to ask what kind of creature injured him to gauge his strength. After his sincere reply, I cannot keep calculating and testing him. I press my finger and type something different. Will, I just reached an agreement with a powerful survivor and signed a mutual aid contract, forming a small team. We agreed to help each other and share resources. If you are interested, we can exchange basic ability info. I attach the contract description. Will's eyebrows twitch. He is grateful and trusts me, but he has 09 and a former organization tail. Although the Dark World scrambled the planet, the organization's foundation will not vanish. An association with him is a hidden danger he does not want to bring to me. Then he reads the contract details. Establish mutual non-harm with permission. Teleport to the other's shelter. His pupils contract. If he and 09 sign the same contract, he can teleport to her shelter and resolve threats she encounters. He stands up abruptly, eyes fixed on the manual with fervor. To tell, or not to tell. Will stares at the rusty gauntlet on his arm and lightly traces the number 9 carved into its side with his left hand. He takes a deep breath. He replies, Jang Hyun, I have another companion. Could you consider her as well? He cannot expose 09. The organization concern outweighs gratitude. I am slightly taken aback. Spots are still open, but although the contract is in my hand, the owner is not me. I will discuss with her. Of course, the person you recommend must have guaranteed character and outstanding strength or ability. Otherwise, the contract owner will not sign. He nods to himself, reading my reply. Anyone who has this scroll plus my approval is reliable and top tier. For the team, look for compatible experts, not dead weight. He sends his ability info. My main ability is close quarters combat, with strength to kill silver mutated beasts. I also have abilities in flesh and fur material processing, byproducts and traps that lure and weaken mutated beasts. My companion's combat power is weak, but she is skilled in mechanical manufacturing and modification. At this stage, she can already create relatively crude firearms and mechanical tools. And as material processing improves, the tools improve. He attaches the gauntlet info. Rusty mechanical arm gauntlet. Bronze grade, a crudely made mechanical creation that greatly enhances strength and defense. Requires beast core for power. My eyes widen. Will gives me a huge surprise on his own side. I already knew he was a fierce hunter from day 2, and silver mutated beast capability is in line. The companion is the bigger surprise. Mechanical technology in the Dark World, where supernatural items mostly come from biotech or alchemy, is gold. The saying is, a gun is fast at 10 paces and accurate within 10. Even mutated bodies are flesh and blood, and mechanical firepower scales without ceiling. She can also do mechanical modification, combine machinery with biology, and has working products like a beast core powered gauntlet. I picture my hunting ants in mechanical armor with mechanical cannons on their backs. Long-range firepower, then close quarters scythe assault. Her drawback is weak combat. The team does not lack combat power. The team needs ability multipliers, and she fits perfectly. My eyes turn red. The companion's mechanical specialization is not just a niche skill. It is a force multiplier that my biological-only stack cannot generate by itself. And over time, the synergy between her tools and my ants will push the team's combat ceiling much higher than either of us could reach alone. I have to discuss with Chong-ha. I reply, Will, your and your companion's abilities are very strong. I will speak with the contract owner. I am sure she will agree. Will reads it with mixed feelings. He could conceal the rest and likely close the deal, but after my help to him in 09 he cannot do that. He sends another message. Jang Hyun, do not rush. There is one more thing. My companion and I were kidnapped by a terrorist organization on Blue Star when young and trained. I was a combat member, she was a research member. With the transmigration, we have escaped the organization's control, but it has not been destroyed and may find us in the future. We will not obey them, and we may face retaliation. Terrorist organization. I grew up in a superpower with good public order, lived alone after grandfather, never had food worries or life-threatening danger, and only know terrorist organization from television news. Will's frame, fighting capacity, and the depth of his manufacturing makes sense now. An organization that has both combat and research members is not light. Probably hundreds of operatives, dedicated training facilities, deniable cover, foreign government links. The full apparatus of an entity that takes children and rebuilds them into killing machines or research drones. Will's mention of instructor, District 8, test subjects suggests an industrial scale to the operation, the kind that does not vanish without leaving rumor and remnants. But transmigration scrambled Blue Star's accumulations, and what is left may be brainwashed automatons without coordination. Compared to Dark World dangers, that is downstream noise. Will's open disclosure is itself sincerity. I reply with a smile. I understand. I will tell the contract owner truthfully. If there are no problems, I will contact you again to sign. He exhales. His tense body relaxes. A small arc on his rugged face. Thank you, Jang Hyun. I await your news. I DM Chungha with Will's and the companion's abilities, and the organization disclosure. She does not reply for 10 minutes. Busy outside. Even with hunting ants, the planting is real work. I look at the nest entrance. The wheat hourglass has sunken further. Mole has cultivated several more silver hunting ants. Taking the lull, I open the trade channel and think. By morning, around 70 silver hunting ants, a substantial force. 2,000-meter range definitely hides rare resources and rare chests. Daytime is good for searching. Silver mutated beasts are likely in there though, and even 70 silver hunting ants fighting one with special abilities risks losses. Each silver hunting ant is a treasure for the gold rank engagement. Minimize losses, ideally avoid them. I look at the gene manipulator. At this stage, someone should have killed a silver mutated beast. Anyone selling. I filter the trade channel for silver beast materials. Less than a page of listings. First item, mutated raven blood, silver rank, owner Will, 10 million wood. Exchange for silver rank or special bronze grade resources. Private message if interested. Will again. The exorbitant price is bait for serious customers, and the resource type singularity makes sense. He hunts and is meat rich. I message him about the listing. He instantly tries to give the materials free. I cannot accept it, already taking advantage of him. So I make 3 quick hemostatic bandages on the workbench and trade them for 2 bottles of silver rank beast blood, mutated raven blood, and mutated yak blood. 2 species means he has killed at least 2 silver mutated beasts. I wonder if Cheonghwa will agree to the addition. I sigh, set the gene manipulator on the workbench, twist the red side knob. A minute later, the camera component on top emits a blue-purple beam onto the platform. I open the raven blood bottle and pour it into the circular vessel, then twist the blue button. The beam shines on the vessel. The color deepens for 5 minutes, then fades. Above the red blood are thin light yellow flakes. 10 mutated raven gene fragments. 100 milliliters, 10 fragments. 10 milliliters per fragment. Wonder how much blood and meat a silver mutated beast yields, and how many fragments scale. If yield is low, fully fusing silver-grade genes into all ants is another expense. Sustain more with war is the answer, plus Chungha's grain. Now I can verify the conjecture. Do gene fragments above the recipient's potential ceiling raise the recipient's potential? I send a sentry ant up to the workbench. Hunting ants already have silver potential. Raven fragments would not raise it, but sentry ants cap at bronze. The little sentry climbs to the vessel. I tap the gene manipulator's yellow button. The beam flashes. A fragment flies up and implants itself. The sentry trembles violently like a sieve for half a minute, then jumps to the floor and devours wheat frantically. Gene fusion takes energy and it inhales whatever it can. 3 minutes later, the sentry calms. 4 pairs of compound eyes intact, antennae intact, dark green helmet intact, body still finger joint sized, but a pair of matte black fuzzy wings sit above its abdomen. Fly to me. Wings vibrate fiercely. The sentry lands on my fingertip in a blink. It really flies, and the speed is incredible. This is no longer a sentry. This is a pilot scout. I check the panel. Sentry ant, bronze grade. Type scout. Potential silver rank. Abilities basic agility, beginner scouting. Fused genes mutated raven. Current 0 gene fusions can fuse 1 more after evolving to silver. Current mutation evolution success rate 0%. The potential has risen to silver. My pupils contract. Each level a creature climbs is a leapfrog improvement. An ant potential becoming dynamic, pushable by gene fragments above the recipient's ceiling, removes the structural ceiling on my whole strategy. The hunting ants and sentry ants and now tunneling ants all have the same upgrade path. I just need higher ranked gene fragments. Gold mutated beast genes become the next prize, and Will's hunting capacity becomes part of the same pipeline. I had suspected this, otherwise I would not have tried silver ranked gene the moment I had it. Verified now. Silver combat power is 3 times bronze. More importantly, after silver, 2 gene fusion. If I find gold ranked genes, ant potential could hit gold. The weakness of low ant potential vanishes. I exhale, the long held worry dissolved. Tension released. I glance at the manual. No messages right now. I look at the nest. Mowall, send a few silver hunting ants up. Meter-long ants emerge. I cycle through extraction and implantation, but this time fuse the gene fragments into silver hunting ants, not sentry ants. I imagine the chemical reactions. Silver hunting ant plus raven gene plus yak gene in one body. What kind of monster does that produce? Creation is irresistible. I twist knobs, shake bottles, blue-purple flashes pulse through the room. After an unknown time, the manual beeps urgently and pulls me out. I look at the new creations. First, a silver hunting ant fused with mutated raven gene. Wings of black down, 1.5 meters spread, capable of lifting the heavy body to fly, otherwise unchanged. Second, a silver hunting ant fused with mutated yak gene. 2 meters long, thick white fur like a yak, rough to touch with strong cold and physical defense. Third, a silver hunting ant fused with both genes, combining all features like a prehistoric monster brought back to life, projecting raw oppression even standing still. I stretch my sore arms and check the chat. Chungha's messages have stacked up. Zhang Hyun found 2 teammates that fast. You have a wide network, both excellent, especially the mechanical abilities, big use for our future development. The organization, do not worry. The Dark World tied up over 8 billion in one go. They cannot stir trouble. Since they were open, please tell them about my abilities too. Approval. I tell Will, who sits in his shelter and reads my abilities in silence. Food, silver combat, gene extraction, reconnaissance. Strong. As a professionally trained soldier with pride, he had not expected ordinary survivors to be powerful, and the alliance pivots in his head from gratitude driven to actively useful. He replies, I understand. I will contact my companion to confirm a time, but she gets engrossed in tools at night and can only be reached during the day. A night-long crafting trance. I get dizzy and sore in 2 hours and would quit if not for survival, so the companion is a serious specialist. Professionals are different from amateurs. Then we do the call during daytime. I return to the workbench and continue gene extraction. But only 1 gene per hunting ant. 2 gene fusion is potent but not cost-effective with limited silver gene supply. By the time I run out of silver gene, I have 1 black scythe hunting ant fused with raven plus yak, 9 fused with yak only, 8 fused with raven only, and 1 sentry ant fused with raven for the verification. I stretch and yawn, and the manual beeps again. Stranger message. Joe Munchel, boss, I saw you were buying ants in the trade channel. Do you still need them? Ants. I open the trade channel and look at my mutated spring water listing. Right, the buy task note, posted on the natural disaster announcement day. So much has happened that I forgot. Ants are like rare species in the dark world. And finally, a contact. I reply, yes. In a corner of the dark world, in a level 2 shelter, a tattered, thin young man squats by a fire, sniffing, eyes glued to the manual. The single word yes jumps over the 1 remaining lens of his glasses. His nose tingles. His stomach cramps. He grabs the manual with trembling fingers. Boss, do you have anything to eat? Half a bread will do. I have lots of ants. Lots. He sounds desperate. I ask for the ant info. Tunneling ant queen, no grade. Ants that love to dig nests. The architects among ants. There really is something. Construction type ants, exactly the variety I was missing. I reply, just the queen and a few ordinary ants will do. Let us trade. He almost faints from excitement. 2 days hungry. Firewood low. On the brink of giving up, only the survival instinct kept him browsing the trade channel. He had despised the industrious ants digging holes everywhere. Now they are the cutest creatures in the world. He kneels on the floor, blocks the path with his hand to let the tunneling ants climb in, and loads 23 plus the queen into a shriveled empty mineral water bottle. Then he sends a trade. I see 23 tunneling ants and 1 queen on his side. He had asked for half a bread. Clearly extreme hunger and resource thin elsewhere. He may not last days. Ants are critical to me. I have searched for days during exploration with nothing to show. As long as he keeps finding ants, an investment is worth it. I put 100 gin of wheat from the floor pile, a bucket of purified water, and 100 wood into the trade slot, and click agree. Trade clears. The mineral water bottle of tunneling ants appears in my hand. Each is about 5 millimeters, dull earthy brown, triangular head, long forelegs like mining picks. Excellent diggers on appearance alone. On his side, Joe Munchel stares at the items. Boss, why so much? Just some ants. Half a bread or 1 bread would have been fine. I smile and reply, "It is all right. To me, it is worth this price. This is what you deserve. If you find new ant species, I will give you the same. For me, these resources are nothing. 100 gene of wheat is the volume of a few floor tiles in my room. Wood is just one slot of one of my professional logging team's daily run. For him on the brink of death, an astronomical figure that resets his survival horizon by weeks. His eyes burst with light. Cling to Boss Jang Hyun's leg. Find more ants. Survive. Thank you, boss. I will continue to work hard." I encourage briefly and put the manual on the bedside. I read the panel. Tunneling ant queen. No grade. Potential bronze grade. Type reproduction. Current mutation evolution success rate 63%. Feeding earth element materials raises rate. Likely reproductive evolution. Tunneling ant. No grade. Potential bronze grade. Type construction. Ability rapid digging. Rate 54%. Earth element material feed raises rate. Likely construction evolution. They evolved by eating dirt. That is too cheap. Probably already eaten dirt extensively, hence the high starting rate. Sleepy and drained, I tamed the queen, sent her and the others into the nest to eat dirt, and crawl into the wooden bed under the thick blanket. An unknown amount of time later, a familiar voice wakes me. Dark World announcement. Congratulations, survivors. You have passed another night. 4 days until the cold snap. Work hard to gather resources to get through this harsh winter. Daytime already. I open my eyes. I stretch, cells and muscles waking with me. Manual, weather, sunny, outdoor minus 11.2, indoor 13.1. Daytime remaining 6 hours, 28 minutes, 15 seconds. Yesterday's snow day was minus 9. Sunny today is 2 degrees colder. At this rate, before the cold front, minus 20 is plausible. Daytime is shrinking. 7 hours yesterday, 6.5 today. When the cold front arrives, daytime may be 3 or 4 hours, which is barely enough for resource searching. The system is pushing survivors to their deaths. I open the chat channel. World counter, 7.1 billion. Region counter, 8,218. My pupils contract, over 1 billion gone worldwide, nearly 1,800 gone in this region. Each digit a life. The system's death pace is brutally fast, and the slope steepens because the lower tier survivors have neither the resources nor the alliances to weather the cold wave once it lands. Hurry. Level 4 before the cold front fully arrives. I put down the manual and walk to the nest entrance, which has been expanded again into a perfectly regular circle, almost compass drawn. Tunneling ant work. Obsessive compulsive architects. Mowol, except for breeding ants, send all silver hunting ants and sentry ants up. Yes, master. With silver intelligence, Mowol can flexibly manage the colony from my high-level commands. Big-bodied, oddly shaped hunting ants emerge first, then more normal-looking ones. The room runs out of standing room. I open the door and signal them outside. Cold seeps in. I shiver and tighten my coat. About 70 silver hunting ants, the count from last night's cultivation. But how did the nest fit them all without my shelter collapsing? I ask Mowol. Truth. Last night the tunneling ants were chief architects and commanders, with the black scythe hunting ants as the main digging force, building a nest that is sufficiently stable and spacious. The dirt was compacted by hunting ants' strength into the nest walls and into rock crevices underground. A bold idea hits me, and the more I turn it over the better it sounds. If tunneling ants are this good at construction at no grade, what could a silver tier construction colony with intelligence build? Could they actually engineer an underground palace? Underground is safer than above ground. No nocturnal monsters wandering close. Warm in winter, cool in summer. Issues to solve. Lighting, air, water source, structural stability. I do not want to be buried alive. Structural stability is critical. The tunneling ant queen needs to be silver to gain intelligence and become a proper architect. Their digging now is gene instinct, not rushed. Explore the territory ring first, palace later. Outside, wrapped in a down jacket from the trade channel, I count 63 silver hunting ants, including gene-fused individuals. 521 sentry ants, including the raven-fused one. The cold glint of hunting ants' scythes raises pride. With this army, anything below gold is slaughter. Cheonga's information says silver mutated beasts are not common in level 3 territory, but better safe than sorry. I send all 521 sentry ants out to net search the entire 2,000-meter ring, marking chests, rare resources, and mutated beasts. I lead the hunting ant squad to chop scattered birches near the shelter for wood. A 2,000-meter ring of roughly 1,250 hectares is gigantic for one person. For 521 bronze sentry ants moving in a coordinated net, it collapses to manageable in minutes. The detection geometry is straightforward. Divide the ring into 8 sectors, subdivide each into smaller patrol grids, and beginner detection on each ant translates to redundant overlapping coverage of every square meter that matters. 10 minutes later, they have marked everything and reported through Mowol. Compared to the days I would have spent walking the ring solo, the radar-style coverage is a step change in operational tempo. Unknown grade rare resources 4. Treasure chest 3 of various qualities. Black iron mutated beasts, 28. Bronze mutated beasts 7. Silver Mutated Beast 1. These are not ants, these are living radars. Sentry ants currently distinguish mutated beast ranks but cannot effectively identify resources or chest grades. Enough for me. Depart. Bring all chests back. Clear out black iron and bronze mutated beasts. 60 hunting ants surge out and disappear. I lead 3 hunting ants toward the resources. Resource collection methods vary. Ant intelligence is not flexible enough, so I see for myself. The silver mutated beast I saved to witness firsthand. Hunting ants could handle it, but I want to gauge the strength gap to gold. The first resource is 800 meters east. With red heart fruit and ranked meat behind me, my physique allows fast travel without panting. Under 10 minutes through brush, I arrive, and smell something foul before I see it. The stench is like a bloated carcass that burst in scorching sun. Fermented contents splattered, rancid fat and decaying organs, with a faint alluring sweetness layered over it, that only makes the nausea worse. I gag from afar and almost lose dinner. I cover my nose and look through the trees. A 200 square meter open space, a black mud pit at center with bursting bubbles and partly rotted animal bones. In the dead center, a half-human tall plant with all black roots, stems and leaves, and a palm-sized blood-red flower at the top. The sweet scent comes from the flower. The kill mechanism is obvious. The scent attracts animals, the plant kills them and uses their bodies as fertilizer. Wicked plant. Useful resource. Black blood flower, silver rank. Consuming directly or drying and steeping in water can greatly increase life potential. And the scent can cause hallucinations. A silver rank resource. Increased life potential and advancement probability. Phrasing too vague to fully parse on a casual read, but combined with silver quality the effect should be strong, and worth the smell to recover. Transplant first, test later. Consult Chongha on transplant method. I send her the info. While waiting I turn to leave, and my gaze sweeps the rotting mud. Black rot soil, bronze grade, fertile soil with strong foul odor. The mud is also a resource. The sentry ant could not distinguish them and probably mistook flour and soil as one resource. Unexpected gain. The smell is the problem. Cannot bring it back to the shelter, especially with a will and companion alliance imminent, and guests possibly visiting. Leave it for now. I rush out of the stench and inhale fresh cold air. Mind clearing. Phew. Alive again. Hope the rest are not as fragrant. I continue. Cold wind keeps cutting my face, biting chill mixed with tree scent fresh air. Inspiration hits. I clap. Tunneling ants only need earth element material to raise their rate, and black rot soil is bronze earth element material. There is enough black rot soil to evolve a large batch of bronze tunneling ants. Just now my brain was gas mask impaired. Tunneling ants are dirt eaters. The recycling solves the black rot soil problem. I order Mowol to send a hunting ant to bring all tunneling ants over. Pang of guilt. Do ants have a sense of taste? Never mind, no intelligence yet. I check the other 3 resource points. Less smelly, no double resources. Red iron ore, bronze grade, 1200 meters northeast. Exposed surface as tall as a person. Unknown depth underground. Arrow bamboo, bronze grade, fist-thick arrow straight stalks 10 meters tall. Hundreds of them with winter shoots beneath. Jade bean, bronze grade. Sounds grand. Actually a soybean variant with jade-colored skin. Only a few dozen plants. With soybeans I can extract soybean oil, stir-fry vegetables, deep-fry meats, an invaluable delicacy. Quantity is too small to extract much, but the glutton Chonha will surely cultivate a high-yield variant. I dig a few arrow bamboo stalks and a few jade bean plants for the hunting ant to send back, and walk back along the ring. Along the way, several small hunting ant squads are hunting. Mutated beasts at black iron and bronze fall fast and get dragged to the animal pen outside the shelter. Mowell estimates 10 to 20 more minutes to clear all sub-silver mutated beasts. 3 chests of various qualities are already at the shelter. I will open them first, then meet the silver mutated beast. I open the door and stop. 3 chests beside the workbench, the center one radiating silver light. A silver rank treasure chest. The silver chest is mostly wood, with silver trim. Exquisite. I squat and touch it. Treasure chest, silver rank, 20% black iron, 40% bronze, 30% gold. Compared to bronze chests, item quality climbs a level and gold is on the table. I have only seen 3 gold items so far. World Tree Leaf adding 10 years of life, mutual aid contract that connects 5 survivors, gene manipulator that tripled my combat power. Each was overpowered, and the probability that a silver chest contains another such item is real, if the dice roll right. The probability is low, but hope exists, and one must dream in case the dream comes true. I take a calming breath and do not open the silver chest yet. I look at the 2 bronze chests beside it. On Blue Star, I played enough games to know the padding enhancement trick. Enhance other gear first as bait, then enhance the target. Superstition but widely circulated, so probably has reasons. With extra chests, I try it. I lift both bronze chests and open them at once. 2 bottles of water, 2 pieces of bread, a pure cotton mattress, a piece of refined iron, a military shovel. Useful, but mostly black iron or unranked. Only the refined iron is bronze. As unlucky as it gets, Exactly what I needed for the padding theory. First step complete. I rub my hands, place hands on the silver chest, lift it gently, and the lid opens. Dazzling treasure light leaks out, vanishes. First item, Primordial Dragon branded assault jacket. Bronze grade, wear resistant, cold resistant, lightweight and stylish, made with inner thermal circulation technology fabric. With cold wave incoming, it will be useful. I set it aside. Second item, big black pot, black iron rank. Ingeniously designed cooking utensil convenient to carry on the back, essential for wandering chefs. I do need a pot for cooking, but black iron is a letdown. 2 items in and not even a silver shadow. Padding superstition useless. Third item lights my eyes, an instrument. Small water purifier, bronze grade. After use, it can filter water into direct drinking water. The more polluted the water, the slower the filtration. Excellent. River water has been my daily, and quality varied so much I had to boil long every time. With this, no more water quality worry. Reminds me of the bigger water source problem. When the cold wave hits and rivers freeze, river water collection difficulty spikes and prices will surge. Note logged. I place the purifier dispenser-shaped by the workbench. The silver chest has 1 item left. I have lost hope of gold and casually take it out. And freeze. Tier 1 trial scroll, gold rank. Survivors can initiate a trial after use. Upon completion of the trial, one's life level can be elevated. Gold rank. The padding worked or did not. Either way, a real gold item. Trial, life level. Strange terms again. Vague and elliptical the way the original 6 precautions were vague and elliptical. The way Eye of Taming's description was vague. As my strength rises, the information vagueness rises with it. Past world experience increasingly useless, a new domain entirely. I will not use this scroll until forced. Trial difficulty unknown. Instant death possible. My progress is leading. No need to take this risk now. The manual buzzes urgently. Cheongha. Jianghyun. I just harvested another batch of multi-year winter wheat convenient to receive. Oh, you found a silver rank plant. Black blood flower. Life potential. That is a good item. She knows about life potential. I am stunned. She mentioned earlier she had some special information about the dark world. I had not paid attention. I had not encountered unknown info then. Now after a string of incomprehensible items I see the value. Her information may rival her grain capability. I ask, what is life potential? She pauses to organize. Plant specialization lets me contract some plants and view their information. One plant info field is potential, the growth limit, which differs across plants. Black iron, bronze, etc. So her ability mirrors mine, but for plants. Are you saying the black blood flower can raise a creature's life potential? So a black iron sealing creature could push to bronze? Or silver? If so, it is not very useful for me. Gene fusion already raises ant potential. She replies, that is right, but it is not just that. You are very perceptive. Humans also have life potential. Humans evolve too, but not on the black iron silver ladder. A different path. We are at tier 0. With sufficient life potential and certain conditions met, we can advance to tier 1. With greatly improved physical fitness and other benefits she does not yet understand. She is not yet sure how to advance, since the world tree only remembers half the relevant information and the most crucial conditions are missing. Tier 1, that is the trial scroll. I send the info. Junghyun, how do you have this? Oh, just got it from a chest. Got it from a chest. From a chest. Be more humble. She steadies herself and warns, this item is extremely valuable. Do not use lightly, every advancement is a leap in life's hierarchy, and must be treated with caution. Wait a few days, by then one of my abilities will break through and I will be able to detect human life potential. She can detect human life potential too. She is like Doraemon, constantly pulling out new things. The fact that she casually mentions detecting human life potential as one of her abilities suggests her contract with the World Tree is far deeper than a defensive partnership. I am not in a hurry. The trial scroll goes into a sealed compartment at the bottom of the chest near the workbench, too valuable to be in casual sight. I thank her and open a trade, arrow bamboo and jade bean for her side. The jade bean for soybean oil makes her thump her chest and promise a high-yield delicious oil variant. Then she sends 10,000 jin of wheat. This time I am prepared. Daytime, so I dump the wheat directly into the outside farmland. The 100 square meter level 3 facility I had built right after the upgrade and never used, since Cheongha is the grain pipeline. Now my farmland is piled high with ripe wheat. The animal pen next to it is filled with mutated beast corpses dragged in by hunting ants. Farmland for grain, animal pen for poultry. My usage seems wrong, but as long as there is grain in the farmland and beasts in the pen, the labels do not matter. I shake my head. I run to the black blood flower location, and under Cheongha's guidance pluck a petal and cut a branch, traded to her for cultivation. Of course a hunting ant does the picking. The black rot soil ring is a no-go for me. After the trade I notice the ant is covered in black rot soil. It sleeps in an outdoor hole tonight. Then I remember the tunneling ants on dirt duty. I locate them by contract. The queen and ordinary tunneling ants are lying with round bellies beside a black rot soil section with a missing chunk. No longer eating. Mutation evolution rates all at 100%. Tunneling ants started at high base rates and bronze-grade soil pushed everyone to 100 quickly. I send a hunting ant to bring them back to the shelter for spring water evolution. Anticipating new abilities at bronze. Mole pings. Master, all 28 black iron and 7 bronze mutated beasts in the area have been killed. Cleared already. Even if early ants are weak, with sufficient quantity and quality the efficiency is terrifying. Time to experience a silver mutated beast firsthand. Mole. Gather all silver hunting ants. Yes, master. I head for the silver mutated beast location with the hunting ant army assembling along the route. The bigger picture is starting to come together. Tunneling ants for construction and earth element specialization. Hunting ants for combat scaling at silver with 2 gene fusion. Sentry ants for reconnaissance with raven-fused flyers extending the recon ceiling vertically. The 4 ant types now form a complete operational set. Scouts, soldiers, builders, and a reproductive queen at the center keeping the colony scaling. With the gene manipulator, every ant in the colony can be tuned individually as silver tier genes flow in. With the mutual aid contract slot still open, the team can absorb a 5th specialist later. The thesis of ants as scalable infrastructure is no longer aspirational. It is operational, and Chungha's grain pipeline keeps the engine fed. 5 minutes later, I arrive near the hunting ant squad's staging area. Slow my steps and look forward. Dozens of dark figures are hidden beneath a 3-meter-high reverse slope, motionless as mountains and silent. The silver mutated beast is 300 meters behind the slope, currently feeding Promoel's intel. I crouch and slowly climb the slope to peak. Under a tree thick enough that 2 people would need to embrace it, a massive snow-white figure nearly 3 meters long is facing away from me, devouring a mutated wild boar. From its head, occasionally lifted while tearing meat, it is a wolf-type mutated beast, a mutated unicorn wolf with an ice blue horn on its head. Wolf-type beasts have keen senses. Why has it not detected us? A gust of cold wind blows past with a faint blood scent, and I get the answer. We are upwind. I relax and focus on the wolf. Mutated unicorn wolf. Silver rank. Abilities. Charge. Thick fur. Ice spike. Maybe distance or the rarity of the species. But the panel only shows abilities. No detail beyond names. Charge and thick fur are obvious. Attack and defense. Ice spike is the wild card. A mage skill in games. If silver mutated beasts can master extraordinary abilities, gold rank mutated beasts surely can too, and conquering gold may not be as simple as I had imagined. I am not soloing this and not yet conquering gold. I push the worry off and slow my movements, retreating 200 meters and hiding behind a thick tree before signaling the hunting ants to swarm. The hunting ants instantly come alive, climb the slope in seconds, and charge in unison toward the mutated unicorn wolf. With thump 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 impact on the ground, the wolf abandons the half-eaten mutated wild boar and turns. Dozens of dark, grotesque, scythe-armed creatures, some running, some flying, are charging in. A single howl and the lines clash. I climb a tree for a vantage. The wolf is already encircled by hunting ants, and seemingly about to be torn apart, when its ice blue horn flashes a pale blue light, and more than a dozen forearm-length ice spikes scatter outward, hammering nearby hunting ants with thump-thump impacts, sending them flying back to the ground hard. Spikes that miss fly 300 or 400 meters before embedding in tree trunks. These ice spikes are absurdly powerful, comparable to assault rifle fire. Glad I did not watch from up close. Fortunately, the skill is not casual. After the attack, the horn visibly dims, the ability clearly carrying a heavy resource cost, and the remaining hunting ants pile on without giving the wolf a second window. Seconds later, the mutated unicorn wolf is silent on the ground. I exhale and climb down. I need my own strength to grow. Even watching from a tree is risky. I check the hunting ants hit by ice spikes. All up, no immediate harm. A few hit in the abdomen leak yellowish-brown fluid, but the wounds are healing themselves. Back carapace hits show only slight indentations, not even minor. The ice spike was probably the wolf's ultimate. Even so, it caused only minor inconvenience to silver hunting ants. Silver mutated beasts are handled with relative ease at this scale. Gold, with 10 times silver strength, would still cost casualties. I signal the hunting ants to transport the corpse to the animal pen with the other 35 from earlier. Meanwhile, in a corner of the dark world, Will is tending an animal pen outside his shelter. Unlike my 100 square meter pen, his is 500 square meters and clearly upgraded. And unlike my pen, full of beast carcasses, his pen actually houses over 20 different species of mutated beasts, mostly unranked in black iron with 3 at bronze or higher. They include herbivores and carnivores, and despite typical bloodthirsty mutated beast nature, they coexist peacefully. His methods remain a mystery. He is built in a shed inside the pen, but his face shows worry. Why has 09 not replied yet? She should be awake by now. He sets the manual down and walks to a cage at the side, lifting a small mutated beast cub by the scruff of its neck and inspecting its leg, then putting it back. The pen's peaceful coexistence is hard won. He has been pacifying these animals one at a time, with patient handling and food rationing, building a small private menagerie around his shelter that doubles as a buffer against the larger mutated beasts that wander the territory ring. Each of these animals is a potential gene donor or labor tool once 09's machinery is ready. The shed he is building inside the pen will become her workshop, with proper shelter against the cold and a controlled environment for the more delicate components. He just wants her to reply. Back in my shelter, I unpack the new chest items and review the day. The silver chest's contents: a salt jacket, big black pot, small water purifier, Tier 1 trial scroll. Together represent infrastructure across 3 different lines: cold resistance, food preparation, and water purification. The water purifier in particular hits a problem I had not yet addressed, and would have addressed badly later. The Tier 1 trial scroll is a separate problem. I lock it away in the bottom of a chest with the world tree leaf, the mutual aid contract slot remaining open in my mind. Both are gold rank items that I cannot use in the next few days, and both are insurance for the cold wave's longer arc. The animal pen outside is filled with 36 beast carcasses now, a logistics problem of its own. Bronze beasts produce beast cores, which means roughly 7 beast cores are sitting in the pen waiting to be extracted, on top of the boar core I already have. Beast cores are worth more than meat at the same rank, and the level 4 shelter requires a gold rank beast core. Working on that path means cultivating a hunting cycle on silver, and eventually gold beasts, which my hunting ant army is now starting to enable. Meanwhile, the mutated wolf carcass has the abilities of charge, thick fur, and ice spike, 3 gene categories that map cleanly onto hunting ant upgrades: charge for impact, thick fur for defense, and ice spike for ranged ability. If ice spike can be transferred via gene fusion into a hunting ant, the hunting ant army adds ranged damage to its melee sides and changes the entire tactical envelope. I send a hunting ant to bring the wolf corpse back faster, and I tell Mowal to prep the gene manipulator session for tonight. The trial scroll, the world tree leaf, the Tier 1 advancement, the medical supply pipeline, the gene transfer of ice spike, the tunneling ant evolution to bronze, with whatever new abilities that brings. The addition of Will and 09 to the contract. Every line item is a discrete project, and the Cold Wave's 4-day countdown is the deadline against which every line is racing. Day 5 out of the gates, and the Dark World feels less like a survival run and more like a logistics game I am running across multiple work streams in parallel. The first day was about staying warm and finding food. The second day was about basic tooling and the first chest acquisitions. The third day was about ant army scaling. The fourth day was about alliance and contract. Today is about silver tier consolidation and gold tier preparation, and every successive day looks like it raises the abstraction level by another notch. The trial scroll is the first whisper of a tier above silver and gold for survivors themselves. Not for items or ants, but for the human at the center of it all. And I do not yet know what that ladder looks like, only that it exists. A practical thought lands. If humans can advance to Tier 1 via a trial, then survivors who stay at Tier 0 are a known entity I can model, and survivors who climb to Tier 1 are an unknown I cannot. Xiongha's caution about not using the scroll lightly is therefore the right caution. Once she can detect human life potential, the scroll's risk profile becomes legible, and I can plan rather than gamble. The probability of Tier 1 being a one-shot trial that snaps the scroll on use is non-trivial. If I fail the trial, I lose a gold rank item with no fallback, and if I succeed without preparation, I may find Tier 1 difficulty matches Tier 0 physical ceiling, leaving me no improvement and a wasted scroll. Wait, cultivate, coordinate. The scroll will still be in the chest a week from now, and a week is a different person from where I stand right now. The right time to use a Tier 1 trial scroll is the moment Xiongha's life potential detection comes online and confirms my reading is high enough to clear the trial without burning the scroll on a fail. Until then, it is a backup card, not a primary play. I close the manual, pat Mowal on her shiny head, and step toward the workbench to start tonight's gene work on the mutated unicorn wolf corpse. The hunting ants drag the carcass into the shelter through the back entrance. 3 meters of snow-white fur and bone, ice blue horn intact at the center of the skull, the thickest layer of fur I have ever felt running across my fingertips. The horn alone is a curiosity. If its ice spike firing function survives extraction, it could become a separate gene fragment line of its own, a kind of arcane ammunition source for the hunting ant army. I cut a small portion of the horn off cleanly, set it on the gene manipulator's vessel, and twist the red side knob to begin extraction. The blue-purple beam fires up across the platform, and the workbench hums under my fingertips, with the quiet promise of another set of fragments stacking onto a pipeline that has not yet finished scaling. The horn shavings react to the beam slowly at first, then begin to give up faint pale blue motes that float into the vessel like underwater snow. If this works, every hunting ant fused with the ice fragment will be able to fire a personal ice spike, and a 50-strong squadron of ice spec hunting ants becomes a ranged fire battery instead of a melee swarm. The combat envelope shifts from melee only to mixed arms in a single extraction. Just as Will is wondering, his manual beeps. He flinches, fearing it is me asking. He has not contacted 09 yet. He picks it up. 09. Will, is the mechanical arm gauntlet malfunctioning? No, it is fine. Something else. Meanwhile, I had just returned to my shelter and was about to deal with the mutated beast carcasses in the animal pen when my manual chimes. Will. He must have discussed it with his companion. Will. Jang Hyun, sorry for contacting you so late. My companion has agreed to form an alliance. Relief. A slight smile. The silver mutated beast was a wake-up call. I must unite as many forces as possible, and Will plus the mechanically skilled 09 are invaluable. I tell him it is all right. Still early. After signing, we are allies. No need to be polite.